The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey,
Why?
let's go!
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You ping!
Damn it!
Your friend tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome. On this New Rules Tuesday, April 1st, 2025, this program starts now. Sports are happening all around us, and obviously we're incredibly lucky to get a chance to chat about it every single day. Last night I was in London. What a wonderful time, actually. Had a blast. Shout out to Wade Barrett being an incredibly hospitable host, and all the points that we slammed around the Thames River and such. It was a great Raw. It was a great atmosphere. It was a great crowd. Then I got a chance to fly back here to Indianapolis, Indiana. When I woke up this morning, holy hell, we're in a new world. There's a bunch of new rules happening in the NFL, down to league meetings happening down in Florida where the weather looks spectacular. The hands have been shaken. And there's been one particular rule that has been talked about all week, maybe all season, where one team is better than everybody else at. One team might be tougher than everybody else. One team needs to be punished and no longer allowed to do the tush push. Well, they went ahead and put a pin in that. They're going to circle back in May. Allegedly, it was a split decision, a split room, 16 for the ban, 16 against the ban. They will further discuss it in May, they will say. Now, if they're doing that, people around the internet, and listen, the internet, especially today. Mm-hmm. Let's keep our head on a swivel.
Yeah,
Yep, never know.
April 1 on the internet is it's a wild place.
Yeah, oh, yeah, it is.
Especially the AI nowadays.
Sure.
Don't be getting fooled, okay? Don't be thinking there's a palm tree extra point upright, okay, for FAU.
Sounds cool.
There's a chance.
That look neat.
Yeah.
It did, but there's going to be a lot of that. But what everybody,
I mean,
I put this tweet up, oh no, just to out myself as somebody that looked at this and thought to myself, this is awesome. And then, Connor looks over at me and goes, are we sure this is real on April 1st? And then that's when you see the, oh no, I fell for this. I hope that Coastal Carolina isn't doing an April Fool's because I learned about this yesterday.
Yeah.
There's did they do a pre-April?
No way.
Ladies and gentlemen, Coastal Carolina football team announced this just yesterday on the internet. Don't know how this works.
What's up, boss?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. What's the damage?
Free.
Free. Well, what about for this?
Free as well.
Free.
All of it free. You want some nachos?
Yeah.
Free too.
All free.
All free.
Free. What? Can I get 50 of these?
Yeah.
Free.
Free.
What about a drink?
All of it. Free.
Free.
Have 2 drinks.
Drinks? Whew.
And
all
a hot
free?
dog. Yeah.
Hot dog's free too?
All free. There you go.
Free.
Free.
Sweet.
That's right, Till Nation. This
Hell yeah.
fall in Brooks Stadium, every fan, every game, always free. Free concessions, popcorn, nachos, hot dog, fountain drinks, and water for every fan this fall. Come out to Brooks Stadium, get your tickets now, and cheer on the Shots. Go Shots.
Hey, Bub, I don't know who you are, but you're going to see a visit from us. I mean, we're going to test this thing. There has to be some sort of limit
every
in this
homeless
entire
guy in the country.
I mean, it's going to be tough to keep the homeless out of there. Obviously, getting a free meal and free drink for not only yourself, but maybe the next week could be an opportunity for some to take advantage of down there. But nonetheless, I thought this, then I thought the palm trees. I'm like, college ball is becoming minor league baseball. I love what we're doing. I don't know how that's going to work out for them.
No.
I honestly, I genuinely, in a time where everybody's trying to get money for the NIL stuff and trying to figure it all out, they're like, let's go the opposite direction. Let's give away everything.
Everything.
And if they fill that place up, they're thinking merch, maybe there'll be purchases, and ticket sales obviously going to go up. There has to be a limit, 1 drink, 1 food item. I don't know, because I saw that guy.
Said.
50 nachos.
That guy had 2 drinks, a hot dog, nachos, and everything else on there. So palm tree's not real. We believe that was in March.
Right.
For week one, at least.
Okay, so anyways, that's happening. Roger Goodell, allegedly, if something gets tabled for another meeting, it is something that he is looking to potentially further explore, which means, hey, we are going to have to figure this thing out. And maybe it does just go down to one person's allowed to push in May, or maybe it just remains the same. And if it does, the Philadelphia Eagles will continue to take a victory lap, because not only are they the ones that are going to be the loudest about this because they've had the most success, they won a Super Bowl with this play being a massive piece of their team. Their fans are loud. The social media, I don't know if you saw, the Philadelphia Eagles just posted on their Twitter a peach with a push on it, and just saying, hey, Tush pushes ours, it survives another day. Yep, there it is. But there's been a lot of rules that have changed. We'll chit-chat about that. There's a lot going on in the sport of baseball, which I did not expect us to chit-chat about as much as we have thus far. Hockey's happening. Obviously, records are on the line. And college basketball in the middle of its biggest time. Today should be a fantastic day. Peter Schrager will be joining us, the newest member of the ESPN team. He was formerly at NFL Network and at Fox. Now he will be joining ESPN as an ESPN NFL representative. Schrager, old friend of ours, obviously an Emmy Award winner. Cannot wait to see him back, or I don't know if he's ever been, with ESPN.
I don't think so.
And we can't wait to chat with him. Talks Tables here at Boston Connor, at Ty Schmidt. One half of the hammer, Dahn. Cowboys AP Tone is here. Tone, I see you wearing the Steelers hoodie, which is perfect for 9-year NFL vet. Darius J. Butler is here, looking very cool. Pittsburgh Steelers, Aaron Rodgers, DK Metcalf playing catch. I've seen a lot of conversation about that still happening. What do you think the final outcome is? Opening day of the NFL season, who's quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Aaron Rodgers.
You think so?
Yeah, for sure.
No question about it.
But yeah, I think Aaron Rodgers. I mean, just looking at it, I know people are still talking Vikings and hanging that out there. I don't see that happening. I see Aaron Rodgers being the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Hopefully that announcement doesn't come today, being that it is April Fool's, but I think it is coming at some point before the draft. But that's just me. I'm sure most people probably feel like that, because I don't think none of us up here think Aaron's going to retire.
Yeah, well, especially after this workout at UCLA. Now, Amen Culture and Ari Pulley NFL got this video in the photos. He's wearing all black, you know.
Yeah.
Well, Pittsburgh Steelers, obviously, black and gold team. Throwing to DK Metcalf. Doesn't seem to be throwing to anybody else. Seemed to be in rhythm. This obviously comes after a meeting that he took in Pittsburgh. AP Tone, whenever you see the photos and you see the video, do you start fantasizing? Because I saw people even analyzing Aaron Rodgers' hand size on the internet.
Sure.
I saw a tweet that we go from Kenny Pickett's hand size to Aaron Rodgers' hand size on the football. It feels like everything that comes out gets Steelers fans either more excited or make a decision already, we're sick of waiting on this guy.
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. This actually kind of pissed me off quite a bit.
What?
If we're being
Tony.
We're being honest.
That's exactly. That makes sense.
What are we doing? Okay, you're out here throwing with DK, parading around. Sign on the dotted line already. What? Like
parading?
What is
parading around? He did a workout.
He wanted to see if DK could catch before he wanted to join the Steelers, or what the situation here is. If he doesn't sign with this point, oh boy. But no. But you know.
Oh boy, what? Oh boy, what?
What was this for then?
What was it?
Just to piss everybody off?
Maybe we're both in Los Angeles.
Just to get your name in the lights.
No, what? You don't think maybe they just so happened to be in Los Angeles and Amen Culture was right around the corner and they say, let's go get a workout in. Why not? There's a chance. Maybe we could be teammates. A lot of people talking about it. Everybody's talking about it. Look how happy they are. Big smiles.
Yeah.
Big
So they should make it official and be teammates. But then I thought, this is where Tom was working out before he went to Tampa and won the Super Bowl. And I see Aaron, and I see him throwing to DK, and I picture him in the jerseys. I see 8 throwing to 4, or to many touchdowns. I assume he'd be 8. I mean, why not?
How'd you feel about the backwards hat? Love the backwards hat.
Love it.
That's great. That's Hugo House. So maybe that's just how.
Watching that thing come out too, still spinning it. Just like at the end of the year. It is. I thought there'd be more wide receivers.
Yeah,
where's
GP?
Rap sheet. Well. I don't know if he's just setting up full offseason workouts for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But I thought there'd be more of a collection of wide receivers. Like I thought DK Metcalf would be there, but also like a 2 or a 3 from another team would also be working out. And we're all making a big deal out of it just being DK Metcalf and Aaron Rodgers. Then the photos come out and it's like Amen Culture's out there.
Yep.
Okay, Aaron's out there and DK Metcalf.
Do we know who set it up? Was it Aaron? Was it Amen Culture?
It was Aaron.
DK? So Aaron just hit up. Do they have the same representation, or what's the
I don't know if
outside
it
of-
was for sure, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if anybody does, but your quarterbacks normally are the ones that organize it, I assume.
Yeah, Aaron called to the moon, and the moon answered, and the
He
moon
just showed
called
up.
the DK. I mean, if I'm George Pickens, I'm raising hell in Pittsburgh.
He might have been invited. He might have been down in Florida.
If George got invited, he would have been there. So if I'm GP, I'm saying, you know what, Aaron? Go to hell. I'm shipping somewhere else, brother. Trade me right now. And guess what? I'm going to make a fuss about it. I'm going to make a big old fuss about it because
People were wondering if we were going to be able to coexist.
Yeah, hey, guess what? I can coexist with DK. I can't coexist with this hippie because he can't even send me a text or call to the moon for me. And plus, at the end of the day, look at Aaron's arms. The guy's kind of jacked up. Has he been lifting a little bit more? Has he been working out? Maybe got a new, better trainer, perhaps? Maybe he's kind of on the up and up when it comes to his physique because, good Lord, the man looks jacked. If I'm Pittsburgh,
He might be taking a different strategy on the body.
Look, I don't
Might
know.
be.
Look at the veins in his arms, the forearms. I mean, this does look like
All
a
right.
match made in heaven.
Okay, maybe, potentially. But the more I see of it, I'm like, oh, this is definitely hey, so he went into the Pittsburgh Steelers UPMC practice facility. I wonder if he had a meal there too, just to pull out.
Maybe.
What is my
Intimate.
first time ever being a free agent? First time ever getting a chance to learn about what I'm going to potentially sign up for. Allegedly, the money's been figured out, and it is all good. Now it's just what does he want to do? And watching that video, it's like I don't think he's retiring.
No.
Yeah,
No way.
Your
Yeah.
backwards hat in the middle of a workout.
Exactly.
I don't think you're retiring at that point. And he's moving smooth. Remember, end of the season, a
Yep.
little bit more healthy on that Achilles. I think they looked a lot different. I just like we all kind of assumed, even though it was always dangling there. There's no way he's going out like that with the Jets.
No.
Yeah, no, there's no way that's
No
going to
way.
happen.
Play
Seems to be a formality here happening inevitably, but what if it doesn't? Don't say, no, better not be.
Better not be.
He could have called Justin Jefferson. He didn't. He called DK Metcalf. Just saying.
Good point.
Good point. Fair point.
What are the Vikings saying? There's a lot of things being said down at the owners' meetings down in Florida. A lot of chitter chatter. A lot of hanging out. Jay Glazer was with every head coach.
Everybody.
Smoking cigars.
Jay Glazer football.
That is Jay Glazer football. I wonder what Jay was bringing the boys around for. You know, if you look to Jay Glazer's video that he posted on social, right next to him, Dan Quinn, and obviously you got Shanahan, McDaniel, KOC. Those are the boys, the McVay boys. You know, then you kind of go around, scatter through, I think maybe some newer coaches further away from Jay Glazer. The closer you are to Jay Glazer, obviously the better you are. Then Andy Reid's right next to him.
Yep.
And I do want, pretty cool day, Jay Glazer says, I could fathom, I could imagine. I do wonder what the meeting of the minds is happening here at owners' meetings because just like at the Combine, obviously they're watching and scouting and doing that. But it's the conversations that are happening off hours that are kind of getting everything done here at the Combine, free agency and stuff. I wonder how many off-hour conversations are taking place down there amongst the coaches about like, hey, we need to try to work on this together. To better the league, we need to do this. Or, hey, who can hammer the most amount of beers here? I like a good camaraderie setting, and I'm happy Jay Glazer is seemingly the guy bringing them together.
Yeah, he's obviously holding court. That's Glazer football. Interested to see what he breaks at some point. But these are, a lot of conversations happen. We talk about it always being a fraternity amongst players. Same way with coaches. I'm sure this is when some of the conversations may happen about maybe, hey, I just got a free agent from your team. Maybe some more conversations about the quarterback or receiver, or how he's going to be in the locker room or in the community, other coaches, other people in their new spots, putting their coaching staffs together. So all these kind of conversations are happening. Obviously, these rules that have been voted upon that will be passed, won't be passed, will be tabled. So all these things are happening. But I'm excited to see what Glaze comes out with pretty soon here.
On that note, a man who's been in that circle before. Guy's been in every circle before. I believe if I recall the story correctly, he slept on people's couches down at the Senior Bowl whenever he was getting in. Went to school down in Georgia. Very, very
Emory.
Prestigious?
I think so. I think it's
Yeah. Very prestigious. Tough to get into.
I think it's very
Selective.
very, very.
Need to know the right people.
Yeah, I don't think it's just an easy.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I'm anywhere near getting in there or whatever. Anyways, chose to take the long road in the NFL media world. Insider, analyst, pundit, mock drafter, handshaker, Emmy Award winner is what inevitably it all led to with Good Morning Football. Now he is joining ESPN, an absolute legend. Ladies and gentlemen, friend of the program, Peter Schrager. What up, Schrags?
Dude, what an awesome intro. I cannot believe you're on air and fine after being in London like last night where I was watching you. You're incredible, dude. I love it.
No, that's you, Schrags. And to be quite transparent, for those that have the ability, and if there's a direct flight, London at like a nighttime flight, you land in the morning, like 7:30, 8 a.m., have a day, then whenever you fly, if you can fly back at night, you land 5 a.m., 6 a.m. in the morning, so you're in there. I think if you stay for a few days and you get onto their time, I think you're in trouble. But I think if you just go in, stick and move, because I did with Scotland last week. Had to get back because Mr. LeBron James was going to stop by the Thunderdome. So that's been actually fun to get over there. I assume you've traveled to Europe numerous times. I have had a blast. It was very, very nice over there. Very nice.
It's amazing. And I don't know how the wrestling fans are, but like we go for the NFL games and they just want sports and they want the NFL. And I was watching you on Raw, and it's like it's the same exact thing for the wrestling, obviously. And the juice is a little different. They're not. It's not like they're not spoiled or anything, or that the American sports fans are spoiled, but they're so gracious and so happy that you're bringing your product to them. And it's like, oh, come on, this is a dream for us too. It's truly awesome, and I thought you were amazing on it.
Thank you. Well, they're born and raised in the hooligan atmosphere, too. Like soccer games, they're singing through the game. There's a lot of action, even though there's not a lot of goals being scored. The fans, I don't want to say have to generate the juice, but they kind of do, and they carry that into everything. It's almost like the Pacific Northwest. Like the Pacific Northwest, they're going to be good fans.
Timbers.
Bingo. They'll show up for that. That is. Anyways, welcome to ESPN. We're pumped that you're here. We just showed that video of Jay Glazer kind of sitting down, chit-chatting and mingling down at the owners' meetings. We assume you've been before, but let's talk about how some of these rules get passed that are currently happening. So, for instance, the Tush push, it has been tabled for May. It has been tabled for May. What does that mean? Does that mean commissioner or some people want to kind of rally and find some votes? What is normally happening behind the scenes, Schrags?
I've been doing this for a long time as far as like the competition committee goes, and usually you'll have a rule proposed and maybe there'll be 2 or 3 people who are like, yes, let's do it. And this Tush push took on a whole different life of its own, almost like it was a election of some sort, in that there were people lobbying other people for votes. It split 16-16, meaning it's a dead split as to who wants to get rid of it and who wants to keep it. Now, you would need to get 8 more votes to get rid of it. The league, though, you'd think that the league is one of the main sources of like, hey, we don't have any injury data to push that it has to be removed. Like if this was a bunch of injuries and guys were getting concussed and we have data, hard empirical evidence that there are knees being shattered because of this thing, well, then I promise you the league would be pushing that direction. They don't have that data. There is no data around it. What's interesting is you've got some big personalities who are lobbying to see some changes. And it's a different, breed of coaches. It's McVay, it's LaFleur, Raheem Morris. These guys, and I talked to, this Tush push, it's gross. It's crap. Like, it's not football. It's rugby.
What? Yeah, it's a scrum, Schrags. It's an ode to the past while still paying tribute to today. The modern athlete takes on old school sport. And to your point, whenever Philly lines up and does it, it's like, okay, they're going to pick up 2 to 4 yards here, and they're going to get a first down. So they're playing like CFL football. It is 1st and 9 for them, and they have 3 downs basically to get to that. And I think that's kind of their big point, right, is if it was so easy, everybody would do it. Do we think more people now, if this thing remains, will start to try to implement it, or how do you see it kind of going if the rule doesn't change going forward?
Well, that's an age-old debate. Jeff Stoutland and the boys in Philly have mastered this thing, and teams have tried, and they have not succeeded. And one of the interesting people who's really against it is Sean McDermott, who's on the committee. And of course, Sean McDermott ran several different quarterback sneaks in a big AFC championship game that got stuffed, 1 yard short. And a lot of people are saying around like, hey, just because you can't do it, don't get rid of it. And McDermott's point is, no, that's an injury waiting to happen. And this thing is hideous. Yeah. Like seeing Frankie Louvu jump over the line of scrimmage 4 times and having a ref come out and be like, look, I'm just going to give him a touchdown. That's not fun. That's not great. But if you're an Eagles fan, you're like, come and stop us. Like, figure it out. And it's the whole thing about machismo and bravado, and it becomes this thing of like testosterone and like, we're the bullies in town. I almost think it's kind of cool if they get rid of it and the Eagles can look at each other and be like, we're that good at this that they had to ban it from the league.
Yeah, the Philadelphia Eagles doing this and being the team is so perfect for their city. I mean, it's so perfect. Sorry, we're too tough. Okay? Sorry, you Johns aren't gritty enough to be able to stop us. It's like, what a perfect city, perfect coach, too. Sirianni, dogs. Yeah. We want dogs. Sorry, our dogs are hungrier than your dogs. O-line, D-line, Howie, that's all he cares about. Like, it is such a perfect situation.
And that's also my favorite aspect of this. Howie obviously didn't play college or professional football. Howie's, this brilliant mind. But, like, talking to Howie about, like, he's got his chest out a little bit. Like, oh, poor babies. Like, you guys can't stop it. Like, there's a little bit of that. And that bleeds throughout the entire city, and it goes right through to Miles Teller and Bradley Cooper and the fans that you see. Like, we're just tougher than you. Yeah. Like, bring it. And, you see these coaches, and McVay is obviously, you saw him in Whitworth in the gym. Like, he's no softy, but he's like, it's just not good football. It's gross. Like, it's a rugby play. I don't know. That's not what we want to encourage, but it's now split. And as far as whether it'll get changed, I don't think the NFL on this one has a strong point of view. It's going to be how hard do these people want to lobby to get the 8 votes? And then it becomes like any election where, like, are you going to go campaign? Like, is McVay going to spend the next April and May, like, calling other coaches who are neutral and being like, I don't know if he's that passionate about it.
Okay, so let's roll through the rules that did pass here quickly. Kickoff will now go to the 35 after a touchback, which is good. Kickers also are allowed to bring their own balls into the games, which is awesome. Look for punters to hit massive balls. Like, this is going to benefit the punters greatly and obviously kickers as well. But every time a punter goes on the field, if he's going to have a broken in ball, there's a chance we see some like 5'8", 5'9" hang time, maybe even like a 6-0 hang time in the game.
You guys were punting brand new balls before?
No, so it wasn't brand new balls. It was like 30 minutes of broken in before the game. The one equipment manager from each team was deemed the person to break in the balls, and then an official would come watch. They had a brush, a towel, and a squirt water bottle, and they had 30 minutes under supervision to break in the balls. Highly anxiety riddled for the equipment managers who have a lot of other shit to deal with right before the game. And then our guy would come out. His name was Frog. He'd be dripping in sweat. He'd be like, I got some good ones for you guys today. And we'd say, thank you, Frog. And then Frog would have a great Christmas, because that is a big deal.
Frog.
Yeah. We take care of Frog. Obviously, Frog, good man, good lad. Also worked his ass off in there for 30 minutes every single week. There's some teams that have shitty ones. Back in the day, it was brand new balls. So there's always been a lot of K-ball conversation. Now they're going to be able to bring their own balls to the games. Look for punters to hit gigantic balls.
You know who's big on, like, an advocate for special teams is Darren Rizzi, and he's got a big voice in the competition committee. So Rizzi, of course, the Riz, was obviously the interim coach of the Saints, but was instrumental in changing the dynamic kickoff. But when you talk about the competition committee and the different voices who matter, obviously, like, Tomlin's been there forever, and there's voices like McVay, who's big on that, and McDermott, but like a voice like Darren Rizzi, who's been doing the special team stuff, who's now the Broncos special teams coordinator, he's almost the voice of like, hey, here's what the punters and kickers need, and it's kind of cool to have that voice also, vocalizing in those rooms.
Yeah, I don't want to say that Coach Riz is the one texting me, but I'll just say my source says that used to be an interim head coach and is now special teams sent a text. We fucking did it. It passed. Touchback 35. That was the text this morning.
Right?
Yeah. So he's like jacked though. Like they're like all jacked about it. So obviously,
you would love this crew of like the Parcells guys, and it's like Joe Vitt and Sean Payton and Riz, like, and they're just like the last bastion of like the old school, like this is how it should be. And Darren Rizzi is definitely carrying that torch from the special team side.
Okay, so new ball, touchbacks go to 35. We kind of expected that. Hopefully that'll be good for the landing zone and more returns. They also were able to add another returner into the middle area, which is good. Replay assist. Let's talk about this, Schrags. This was kind of happening last year at the end of the year, I think, without us kind of knowing it. They were kind of growing it, expanding it, and I think it was good for the game. They saw the same thing. What does this mean, you think, from your eyes, and what does the future mean in your eyes with this rule change, Schrags?
Well, I think Kevin's on it here, and some context on this. They're not going to have New York throw a flag. Like, New York can't say, actually, that was pass interference, or actually, that was defensive holding. New York can't do that. But if a flag is thrown and it's egregious, New York City can come and pipe into the referees and be like, pick that flag up. Like that's not the call. So that's a change. It's progress. I don't think we're ever going to go back and do it where we did the pass interference reviews, which we had a couple of years back, which was a nightmare and would take 15 minutes and stop a game, and then the refs would always side with their original call anyway. But this is one where there can be a impartial party up in New York saying, hey, actually that one wasn't. You can pick up the flag, but they cannot demand a flag be thrown after the fact.
Yeah, I think that's a smart move. And as long as they're quick and efficient and the right people are looking at the Xbox or whatever they're running it with and sending it down there, to your point, is good. The overtime stuff, I think that pass, they're going to have the same as you get a chance to answer, but it is in a 10-minute period as opposed to in playoffs. It's never ending until somebody wins the game. And I think they'll consider it a successful league meeting down there. Way to go, boys.
Hell yeah.
Great.
All right,
I'd say,
go ahead.
Real quick, that Glazer video that you showed, so that's like Jay's Christmas. Like this is his, and that is like 20 years in the making. And it started with like him and Tomlin getting drinks, and then it expanded. And it's the thing that like Jay, it's the Tuesday after the coaches in the NFC have their breakfast, so everyone's kind of done. And Jay gets all the head coaches together. And having been at that table with him, Jay was cool enough to invite me several times at these league meetings. It's hilarious. And they're not talking about free agents. I'm sure they're getting bombed right now because they've been sitting at conference rooms for the last 48 hours listening to presentations and dark lighting and dealing with their kids and their wives who are all there. And this is like their one time away. So Brian Dable's got his legs crossed. The cigar will be coming out shortly. And Andy Reid is hanging. He's not a drinker, but he'll hang and have a good time too.
Yeah, the Mormon will toss down a Diet Coke. Congrats to the boys. Yeah. Congrats to the boys. You earned it out there. All right, Schrags, we got some questions about other stuff that we know that you will know the answer to. Obviously, one of the greatest mock drafters in the history of mock drafts. D-Butch has a question for you, pal.
Absolutely. On that mock drafting note, Haslam has basically come out and said, look, took a big swing and a miss on Deshaun. That lies on me. Take full accountability. But now sitting there at number 2, the tea leaves are kind of saying momentum is going towards Abdul Carter going and pairing up with Myles Garrett in Cleveland. What's your thoughts and feelings on what Cleveland's going to do with that number 2 pick as it stands right now?
Well, they're not there yet. Here's the key thing. I think everyone doing the mock drafts, and I respect it. I like to wait until about 2 weeks beforehand when the pro days are done. You know, Shedeur Sanders hasn't had his pro day yet. It's this week. It's April 4th, and he hasn't had any private workouts with teams. So you're talking about if this guy's going to be my second overall pick, he didn't throw at the combine. We might have met with him for 15 minutes, but I got to get my hands on him. I got to A, see him at his pro day, and then B, I've got to bring him into our building and see how he interacts and how it goes. You look at Cleveland's quarterback situation. Finally, they're ripping the Band-Aid off. They're going to pay Deshaun Watson. He's going to get paid. But Kenny Pickett's the quarterback for now. There's a lot of smoke around them making a play for Cousins. Raheem Morris doubled down this morning saying, you know, we're happy with Cousins being a backup. Keep an eye on that. But I wouldn't open any doors and say that, hey, just because they're done with Watson, this means it's Shedeur Sanders. You're right, D-But, that it sounds like Abdul Carter. You put him and Myles Garrett together. You have Kenny Pickett. And if Kirk Cousins comes to be great, but there's also some other quarterbacks that they can look at later on, and that might be Tyler Shuck, that might be Jackson Dart, Quinn Ewers. No one feels like they are so desperate right now to get Shedeur Sanders, but if he blows them away, that's an option they can do. They leave the door open, they can do so.
Yeah, Will Howard as well,
Sure,
Schrags, as you're doing. Guy to back home.
Hey, I was going to say to you, I got to tell you, when you guys were at Ohio State, I forget, it was probably before the playoff game. It was freezing cold. You guys were just there, and I was working for NFL Network and Fox, and it was like a loosey-goosey day you guys had on there, and my wife and I are watching, and I'm like, I really appreciate these guys. I got to join this crowd. Like, you guys were, it was the day you were messing with Zaire Franklin, and I'm like, oh, I like it. It's
messing with Zaire, yeah.
Like, it was good. But I'm like, the fact that you have this ability to go with your boys a day before a college football playoff game, sit in the cold, laugh your asses off. It's great content, and I so appreciate even being on the show now because I wasn't able to this past season. The sky's the limits now, and you guys do such a great job.
Strange, we're lucky to have you back.
Yeah,
Very kind of you. It's not always, loosey-goosey's not always good, is what we have learned, but we're trying to get better every day. We're trying our best to get better, to be an additive to society. But I will say, those sideline passes games are the most absurd things of all time.
Yep.
And that's what we saw. That's where we saw. Well, I mean, it was just like we saw C.J. Stroud, and we're not going to act like we were the only people that saw it. But at that time, C.J. Stroud was not being talked about as being the guy. Like, this is not the guy.
No, threw that pass against Georgia, 80 yards, and everyone's like, wait a second.
No, not even that. He jogged out in warm-ups when we were there, and it's like, this dude's big, very, very big. And I think it's the moxie is what I want to see is like how the teammates feel about him, because the teammates always know. Like, hey, is this a good teammate or not? The teammates will tell you whether or not this is a guy. And with Will Howard, it was like, after that Michigan loss, with how much money's being paid to that roster, with how many expectations there were on this particular team, Jeremiah Smith is, best player in football. There could have been a lot of people that turned on this guy, Will, especially with what happened at the end of the Oregon game earlier in the year, whenever, he ran and the clock ran out and everybody's like, this is the dumbest guy of all time. A lot of those teammates could have said, it's this guy's fault that we're losing this season and this might be our final season or we're going all in. And instead, he had a relationship with all of his teammates. He had handshakes with all of his teammates. It was like they loved him. And then what we watched him do, I mean, that was negative 10 degrees or whatever it was in that particular time there. What we watched him do up close and personal, those two balls, we're literally standing right there. It's like, this guy's a baller. Like, I think he's
crazy, isn't it? So, like, you have the experience with game day, and then, of course, when you guys are doing those simulcasts, you get to be there. But for years, I was a sideline reporter, and what you see on the sidelines is I get 2 hits a game, and I'm like, this guy's ankle's hurt, and this coach yelled at this player. But what you don't get is that I'm there 3 hours before kickoff talking to the coaches. I'm there 3 hours before kickoff watching how the quarterback interacts. And for these draft pundits, a lot of them see stats, they see combine, but the coaches don't look at it necessarily that way. The coaches say, oh, well, I actually have a scout who was at the game when Oregon State played against, Stanford 2 years ago, and this guy in pregame did like. That's why it's the total package. You can't just do evaluations based on film and by combine. There's all the intangible stuff, and I think you guys being on site, as I like to call it, like to touch the grass a little bit, get in there, see it. You can kind of navigate, and you'll know which guys are the goobers too. Like, you can see that also. Like, oh, that guy stinks. Like, I don't want that guy on my team, and the teams know that as well.
Yeah, I had a chance to do that Thursday Night Football Remy operation with ESPN 4 or 5 years ago, 6 or whatever it was, 6 years ago, maybe 7.
2019.
29 years, so 6 years ago. Molly McGrath was the sideline reporter. And sideline reporters, like, to your point, only see him like 2-3 times a game. You hear him drop in and everything. But the amount of, like, info that she was sending up to the booth, like, at all times, it was like, oh, the sideline reporters are like, they're your eyes. Like, they are literally the eyes down on the side. Like, hey, just a heads up, blah, blah, blah just happened. And it's like, all of a sudden, that becomes like, need a camera on this, need to do this. It's like, and you're really in it. Like, you're in the middle.
Coaches talking shit to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Doing a touchdown. Like,
Exactly.
Coach Fry.
I did a Bills Dolphins game a couple years ago. Saturday night game. It was cold. Josh Allen came back and like beat Tua, but I got like a snowball thrown at me in Buffalo, and then everyone was like looking at me. I'm like, hey, let's go. I'm on the field. Let's roll. Let's go. Let's do it. And it's like you're feeling it. You're actually in the action. And to that Buffalo fan who threw a snowball at me, I'm on ESPN now. Okay, so why don't you?
Yeah, great throw. You had to be pretty far away to hit me. I was on the sideline. But with that being said, I'm an Emmy Award-winning host.
Hell yeah.
Aren't you, Schrags? Emmy Award winner, brother. And hopefully there's more where that came from. All right, we got some more questions, obviously, about everything happening around the NFL world. Con Man's got one for you.
Yeah, Schrags. Jed York came out and basically said, hey, mid-season 2024, we all decided, we're going to give Brock Purdy a few more shekels after underpaying him for so long, and now it feels like his contract is looming before the start of next year. Are you hearing anything as far as numbers go? Do you think he'll be a $50+ million per year guy, or do you think he might be in the 40s range so that San Fran can continue to build around him and have one of the best rosters in football?
It's really interesting because the gravy train was going there for a while, and they, against maybe better judgment in their hearts, were like, all right, we'll pay Debo this number. We'll pay Brandon Ayuk this number. We're all in, and this is the year we're going to be all in. The window is now, and we got Brock on this rookie quarterback, 7th-round pick salary, and then it all came undone. So someone in the league made a comparison to what's going on in the U.S. government right now, and it's like, all right, we got to just stop the bleeding, and we're going to analyze everything. And I'm like, no, don't go there yet.
They're AI in
They're taking over New Mexico.
They're dozing over. Got it. Okay, got it.
Did Purdy miss the boat on when the Niners were they saving all of their money, or shekels as you call it, to give it to him? I don't see Brock Purdy making north of $55 million. I don't see Brock Purdy being one of the top highest paid quarterbacks. It's going to be a discussion with his agent, him, and what does he want? What does he need? And then you never want to take a hometown discount, but you also realize that, your Brock Purdy is $50 million the right number? Is 48 not the right number? Is 45 the right number? Can 40 be the right number? So curious to see where it goes out here, but obviously they want to sign Brock Purdy. That's been John Lynch's stance forever. Kyle Strong and his agent met with the team at the combine. These are open conversations, but I don't think this is the Justin Herbert deal or the Trevor Lawrence deal, or it's, every other young quarterback got paid, we got to pay him. The Niners, it's almost like the buck stops here. Let's be fiscally smart right now because we might have made some errors in the past.
I know you won 55, but quick question. 55, not bad. 48, same, right? Basically. Yeah. How about 44 then? 44 and 48, basically the same. We get you right there, 40. Think about what we can do, okay, with that extra 15. The way you wheeled and dealed and negotiated right there is exactly the sound a team would have for a player. For Brock Purdy, it is an interesting situation because, as Connor would say, the shekels have been pretty low, because he was the last pick of the draft. So he has had a very low NFL contract. And, you want to talk about Doge in the government. San Francisco's government takes a good amount of said, as Connor would say, shekels out of the contract to, give back to the city and to the state and to the country, right? That's where it all goes. And then, that has been a pretty big amount. So if you go from making the least possible, basically, for a guy,
literally the least possible that you could as a draft pick.
The least possible. As a starting quarterback by far, but just as a player that is drafted as whole. So would a $45 million a year be welcomed because it was like, I was just making $900,000 last year. So is that the sell? Yeah. Every ex-player and every NFLPA representative and every agent is like, Brock, don't you even think about something.
Burned it.
Okay. That is what they're going to be saying.
He's in a bad position leverage-wise, not because of his draft position, but because they still own his rights for the next 3 years if they want to. If they want to play hard, if they want to play hardball, franchise him a couple of times and still wait another year to pay him. So he is in a bad situation there. But you don't take less than 50. He deserves, especially with the salary cap going up, at least what Trevor Lawrence is getting. Jordan Love, what has he proved in comparison to what Brock Purdy has done in the league so far? So I think Brock, he deserves around that 55 at least. Josh Allen not breaking that 55 mark, not getting up to Dak. I think that kind of suppressed the market a little bit for the quarterback. Salary cap jumping up, though. Brock Purdy deserves 55. But we'll see how it plays out with the leverage that Niners have.
Good luck, Purdy.
Go get it.
Good luck, Purdy. We're pulling for. Hey, good luck to the Niners. I mean, I saw Lynch hand over a lighter for a cigar down there with Jay Glazer.
Was it a cigar?
They smoking weed down
I don't know. No. I don't know. I look around that circle. I see a couple cigs guys in there.
Got medical.
Oh, you're seeing some cigs down there?
Braves was there?
You're telling me people are packing cigs down there at the league meeting?
Braves was in that circle, but, I saw Liam Cohen, and I know one when I see one, and I know he's a cigarette guy.
Well, at what time do you think Braves is double cigarettes? 2 cigs.
3:30.
4 patches.
3:30.
It's 12:37 Eastern right now.
Probably an hour ago.
Started an hour ago.
Yeah, you're right. I guess there was a good brunch moment.
Probably when someone came up and was like, "We need you to ban the tush push, Mike," and he was like, "All right, I'm sick of this."
What did he say? Actually, we're not going to let Lamar Jackson run anymore.
What? Just because nobody can stop it, we're going to just start banning stuff? No.
Think about the conversation in that room about the tush push from the meathead football guys, Vrabel, for instance, who might have had 2 cigarettes in his mouth. Might have.
Could.
Not just unlit cigs, both of them lit. There's a chance. Add a cigar in the middle. There's a chance he's 3-piece in that thing.
Yeah, triple stack.
And they say, we're not playing football anymore? And then you got
Pat,
somebody on the other side.
Table,
go ahead.
You've got Mike McDaniel in sunglasses and a Gucci belt being like,
we are trying to play football. Oh, God.
Actually, if you think about it, the dynamic of all these personalities is amazing.
I assume that's what that is afterwards, that, Glaze is setting up. He's going to get everyone and get 3 drinks in them, and then he's going to be like, All right, boys, 16 on 16, non-tush push, tush push. You guys are gonna beat the fucking shit out of each other, and whoever wins, that's what we're gonna vote on.
The knowing Glazer, he's like, I got Guy Fieri here, Stallone is here, we got Kurt Angle, and we got Chuck Liddell. They're all gonna come, and we're all gonna vote too. Yeah, so
Jay, these are all compliments because this could be real.
Yeah, love
like what we are saying right now could be real. Also, in my algo, more than I would, every once in a while I got to have a nice chat with the algo. You got to go to the search bar and be like, hey.
Don't do it, Pat.
No, you got to have a good conversation with your algorithm.
Yeah.
Those group MMA fights have been showing up a little bit more.
So awesome.
What? Have you seen this?
I have not.
Oh, group
Like
MMA.
2-on-2?
It's in there now.
Yeah, it's great.
No, like
2 on
6 on
2,
6.
6 on 6.
In a cage.
In a cage,
In a
bro?
cage. Yeah, they're in a cage. And then once one's out,
country?
it's now 6 on 5.
Yeah.
And then 4 on 1. Yeah, you see some of these. Like in the middle.
What country?
I'd assume it's Russia.
Yeah, not here.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah,
Side of the Atlantic.
Eastern. Some
Eastern Bloc.
Yeah,
Some stand.
Okay.
it's insane. Have you seen the one where they're actual using a weapon?
Swords? The ones with old
Yeah,
time.
Yes,
no
and
weapons.
they're look that one up. Too.
Yeah,
Weapon
I
fighting.
need this in the
Shields.
algo.
They got the whole thing, armor.
They're not speaking our language, and I'm not sure we would be welcomed at the event, but it does seem like something that would be electrifying. And maybe Jay is setting it up tonight.
Could be.
16 on 16, put
Yeah.
the cage up around the pool. Maybe it is just one big pool basketball game. Dan Quinn with that backwards hat.
Basketball.
MCDC.
coming, nerd, the whole thing. I mean, there's a chance.
Drowning Mike McDaniel.
All right, let's get back. None of this is going to happen. Maybe.
Maybe.
It should.
None of
We don't know.
Zach Taylor from deep, just money. Sorry.
Zach
Yeah,
Taylor
that's good.
sitting on the side of the pool. Yeah. Getting a pass. Got to make that. You missed your one opportunity there. You're
You're done. Yeah.
Andy Reid down low getting boards.
Oh, my
Are you
God.
kidding me?
With a T-shirt on in the pool.
Yeah.
His t-shirt just says Big Walrus on it.
Walrus, kick it. You
So many
kidding me?
opportunities. Hey, Jay, make it happen down
Come on,
there.
Jay.
Come on, Glaze.
Come on,
It's on
Glazer.
you, Jay Glazer. You either do it
Come on, dude.
or you hate football, Glaze. Hope they're having a good time. Tone has a question for you, Schrags.
Yeah, Schrags, you brought up Kirk Cousins, maybe tied to the Browns. He has a pass with Stefanski. You said Raheem Morris kind of put some chillers on that. But Arthur Blank said that he sat down with Kirk for an hour and took 5 pages of notes, handed those off to football people, said you do with those notes what you will. But Breer said Blank definitely did not close the door on a trade. Do you think it might be the Browns? And if it's not the Browns, and let's say Aaron doesn't sign with the Steelers, do you think Kirk Cousins has a chance to play with the Steelers? Or do you think the Browns is potentially the only place that Kirk could go right now and be a starter potentially?
Look, the Browns thing makes a lot of sense for 2 big reasons. One, there's a gaping hole at quarterback. I mean, Pickett could hold the fort, but he's not your only option. And then 2, Stefanski and Cousins have a really good personal relationship. I don't know why Kirk Cousins was at a Chipotle in Ohio over the weekend, but he was. That was confusing to me, but that also leads you to think, wait, what's going on here? Truth of the matter is, Penix is the future in Atlanta. They're paying Cousins a boatload. Can they figure something out contract-wise? And is it really logical to think that Kirk Cousins, who signed on to the Atlanta Falcons to be the starter of the Atlanta Falcons, is thrilled to be the backup next year and to be grooming Michael Penix for a team that didn't even make the playoffs this season? At least in Cleveland, he goes to a quarterback's coach and a whisper that he's got a relationship, a fan base that would be thrilled to have him, and he's an upgrade, and he's the quarterback 1. It makes sense. Of course, the timing, they'd have to wait to be able to do this. But Myles Garrett, which, Pat, I was very vocal about on my last home, how we wasted an entire Super Bowl week listening to Myles Garrett talk about wanting to play for a Super Bowl champion. And you go on Radio Row and speak to anybody with a microphone, how all he wants to do is raise a Lombardi and then 2 weeks later get $40 million and sign and say, I want to be in Cleveland, actually. But Myles Garrett did say that he knows of a plan at quarterback, and he's comfortable with that plan. I can't imagine it's with a rookie quarterback or it's I'm thrilled to go to war with Kenny Pickett.
Well, Kenny Pickett's Super Bowl champion. Last guy to touch the ball in the Super Bowl was Kenny Pickett. Yeah.
I think Miles would be. I don't want to speak for Miles, but I think Shedeur Sanders or Kirk Cousins. Which one would you be more comfortable with?
I think if I'm Miles
You want to
Garrett
win a Super Bowl, I don't know if either one's the answer right away.
Well, no, he decided, though, $40 million was enough to sway his thoughts
He's there for another, what, 4 years, 4 years? I mean, top of the draft.
Kirk and Abdul Carter, though, too.
Kirk, do
on
we
the other
remember
side.
we watched Kirk Cousins play football? Did we all
was
watch?
hurt.
I know he's
I wouldn't watch.
coming back. I know he's coming back. from-
Miles Garrett getting
with you.
tripled. Abdul Carter on the other side as well, D-Bud.
But
look,
I'm with
Kirk
you.
got paid
I'm
170 last offseason.
picking up what you're putting
Look,
down.
we watched it. Kirk was hot. He was hot
Yeah.
coming in, coming off the Achilles.
I'll tell you this.
Are they paying
Kirk
Kirk
Cousins
too?
against the Raiders, and I think it was Desmond Ritter under center field, was the worst performance I've ever seen from a quarterback in a game. And I said, that guy looks like a shell of what he once was. And it came out afterwards.
Yeah, I
His
like
shoulder
Kirk.
was all busted up.
Yeah,
He was hurt.
How much money do
like
they
Kirk.
spend on quarterbacks if they trade for Kirk Cousins and are paying Deshaun Watson?
Well,
What's
that's
the
paying
total?
37, right? It's 27 this year, then 10 million guaranteed next year because they did that thing a week ago or whatever and kept him on the roster. So that's an extra 37 million.
So Shadur Sanders is the number 2 overall pick. Is what
It
we're saying.
sounds like.
Can't the Falcons
On a
pay his
budget.
salary in the trade?
Yes, they could definitely pick up some of it, right? Just like the Broncos did for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, I mean, I guess that could be a part of the trade, but you would have to give up, what, 2?
Yeah, exactly. Why would you give up
Or
that
what,
pick?
like 2 picks? Not the number 2 overall.
And
pick.
doesn't everyone?
Oh,
pay
I think
Jimmy
this might be
Haslam?
one of those where it's more like Russell and Seattle and Denver, where it's a much more even trade as far as who's getting. I don't think the Falcons have any leg to stand on to demand a bunch of draft picks for Kirk Cousins.
So Atlanta would have to pay it, and they wouldn't get a lot of.
I think this is more. Let's cut our losses if they're doing that, and let's give Kirk a chance to start somewhere.
Okay, so Atlanta pays the bills then. So then it is.
That is possible.
Then it is a cheaper contract because whenever you say Shador or Kirk, it's like Shador, you're getting a very cheap. Not cheap, very cheap, but you get it.
Yeah,
A rookie
much cheaper,
contract quarterback, which is what the San Francisco 49ers had with Brock Purdy. Now much different as a number 2 overall pick as opposed to Mr. Irrelevant. But still, the rookie contract at quarterback is a massive ordeal, especially if you got debts all over the place, which
What do you do,
Cleveland
though?
Browns
What do you do? I mean, if you're the Browns and you don't love Shador Sanders and you have the number 2 overall pick and this kid Carter is what you think he is and is a game changer, do you sacrifice having that guy for 10 years to draft a quarterback that might have been the 3rd or 4th quarterback taken in the draft last year? And just because it's the year of the draft that we have the number 2 pick, like it's this constant question of shopping when you're hungry. And you don't want to go to the grocery store when you're starving because you end up buying all sorts of stuff that you don't want the next day. Shador Sanders, if you love him, take him. And you think he's the future, that's great. And Miles Garrett might know that he's the guy and they feel great, then that's okay. But if he doesn't blow you away and you're Stefanski and you know quarterbacks and you're Andrew Berry and you know quarterbacks and you're like, do you just take him to take him? So you say, we got a quarterback? That's tough.
Yeah. Don't want to go shopping when you're starving or stoned, but right now they're in a situation where who
They've been starving and stoned for a long time.
Yeah.
well, especially now they're more starving and stoned than they've ever been. They're paying a lot of money.
Yeah.
How about Haslam coming out and being like, yep, that one's on me, bub.
Hand up.
Me and D, we certainly thought it was the case. It has been an organizational failure from top to bottom, and that starts with us. That's what we all assumed why Andrew Berry and Stefanski are still there is because we feel like a decision was made above them that has kind of handicapped them mightily. If it is Kirk Cousins going up there and they're able to go on a run, you know what? The dog pound, you didn't deserve it.
Yeah.
You didn't deserve it over there. Last question quickly here, Schrags. We can't thank you enough. Go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, Schrags, we heard Ben Johnson, who everyone knows, he's a wonderkind, he's the next guy, but he basically came out and said, hey, listen, EPA is more important than turnovers. And although last year Caleb Williams, I think, had the 2nd lowest EPA for quarterbacks in the NFL, is this something everyone knew? Is he like a big statistical guru and like analytics and all that kind of stuff? Because going in, I thought he was just, straight ball, X's and O's, and now I'm all of a sudden kind of getting Brandon Staley vibes out of Ben Johnson. Like what's the I'm just saying.
As a Packers fan, obviously.
I've gotten to know Ben pretty well, and I think there's this thought that either A, he's this like dorky X's and O's, sit in the bottom of a basement and just draw up plays like I'm a mad scientist, or there's this other feeling of it like that he's this I'm gonna shove it in the face of the Packers because I'm gonna be that guy. Truth of the matter is he's the total package. This is the guy who I think comes in here and values that stuff and might have said those stats, but I promise you he's not looking at Caleb Williams because of something called EPA and what excites him. He's looking at Caleb Williams because he sees completely untapped potential, an awesome arm, a good kid, and a guy that they think they finally built an offensive line for this season with Jonah Jackson and Tooney, and we can go through it all. But they're like, this gives him a shot. But he had options, as we know. He could have gone anywhere. Yes, the money was good. He also really wanted to work with Caleb Williams. So I don't think it's because of turnover numbers or EPA. I think that was him just playing to the wonks a little bit.
Love that, playing to the wonks a little bit up there in Chicago. EPA, earned points added, is a stat per play, basically, where it's did you help your team on this play or did you hurt your team?
Like your plus minus.
Yeah, it's a plus minus for basketball. It's for football. Do you know who is the worst ever? Will Levis, if you're on.
Wait, what do you mean?
Ever?
Last season?
Maybe last season. I don't know. You see these points. I don't know how it can get much worse.
Could see it.
I'm telling you, there's some bad plays in the EPA. But who's the one judging? You know, like that's the whole thing. And then the overall points, you have to play a certain amount of plays because then they just get added on to. Like earned point average per play, some people are like negative 0.17 or 0.14. But if you don't play as many plays, you won't be like negative 69 or negative 94 or whatever it is. You'll just be negative 48. So whatever the case is, this stat seemingly says, do you stay on schedule? And do you hurt your team or do you help your team every single play? It's a new one.
I'm no meathead, Pat, but I think this show is going to be higher rated than the LeBron episode last week because I'm on it. But I think the ratings just tanked when you said the word EPA and started going through it, and that's the problem. Viewers don't want to hear it, and like we as media are trying to grasp it, but it is valued there in those buildings, and there are teams of analytical people putting these numbers together. I'm just not hip to the stats. To me, it's I want to see the guys throw, and I want to see how they interact with the teammates.
What was the other one? There was another one. Expected
CPO
completion
percentage
over
expectation.
Yeah, there is. We get sent these over because Hembo obviously will send us some stats, and every once in a while there will just be this fucking stat that is not real.
DVOA.
You know, and it's like, all right, I understand.
April Fools, here's a fake stat.
Yeah, it's cool. Hembo, I appreciate you, but I don't know how that one applies, but smart people do, which you are one of them. And we can't thank you enough for joining us, and congrats on the ESPN deal, brother.
I'm so excited, really happy to be here. And one of the primary reasons I sought out ESPN as a home is because of the relationship you guys and your team has had with me and the ability to work together. It's really cool, Pat.
Schrager, we love you, man. You're the best. Ladies and gentlemen, Peter Schrager. Schrager's been good to us.
Oh, yeah, and he knows.
Yeah, he's like I talked about coming out of the Emory College. I think it's like the most expensive school in like.
Yeah, very hard to get in.
I think it's all bazillionaires.
What's their specialty?
Bazillionaires.
Money?
I think just networking.
Oh, okay.
I think, but probably business.
Yeah, they got 11% acceptance rate, which is low.
Any other people we would know came out of here?
I learned about it whenever Schrags was on the show. He said, I went to a school in Atlanta. It's like a small school in Atlanta. And you would have thought you had heard of all the schools in Atlanta because it's Atlanta. And then he said, Emory, never heard of it. We looked it up. It's like one of the most expensive schools in the history of schools, I think.
Legit.
Not only acceptance rate, but I think also like there has to be a massive bank account behind that one as well. So I'd assume the networking pretty good down there. You know, those schools have a lot of these things happening at all times. Just like, camps or some of these high schools, these private academies or anything like that. But he decided to take the route of like, I'm going to the Senior Bowl in Mobile, and I'm sleeping on shitty mattresses in motels to try to meet people. And he met a bunch of low-level guys, basically coaches and scouts. And through the years, they've all kind of moved up as he has moved up. And it's like Schrags is plugged. That's why his mock draft is always the closest. And he's a good get for ESPN.
Oh, yeah.
I personally believe. That Good Morning Football run he had over there was great. They won an Emmy, obviously. They did their thing. I'm pumped he's with ESPN. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a man from MLB Network from Pittsburgh, one of the greatest Yinzers of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, the host of the Mayor's
Office.
Sean Casey.
Yeah.
What's up, fellas?
Mayor, it is great to see you. We have a hard out in 5 minutes, which is unfair for the way that you operate, but we are appreciative of you being able to join us on such quick notice. You, former hitting coach for the Yankees, the guy who was able to get good wood on a ball whenever. That is what your baseball resume would say about how you played. These torpedo bats are taking the world by storm. Obviously, that's Jazz Chisholm. He has done a fantastic job with these. The Yankees have hit a bunch of bombs. I believe it was
Ellie De La Cruz.
Ellie De La Cruz last night has 4 hits, 2 bombs in his first night using this torpedo bat. So, couple quick questions. How come this hasn't always been the bat of choice? Why haven't we always had it? And is this thing going to get banned or promoted in the MLB, do you think? Well, it's definitely going to get promoted. I mean, it goes through all the specs. It's totally legal. I think the biggest thing they did here, because there's a bat performance lab that Marucci and Invictus bats have down in Baton Rouge, and I think a lot of the players have been going there for years. And if you go back to Paul Goldschmidt in 2022, on the bottom of his bat, he had a bat like this, and at the bottom of his bat was like a puck shape. And everyone's like, oh, man, what's going on with Goldschmidt's bat? And what they found is when he was swinging, he liked a little more weight at the bottom. It felt better, going through the zone with the metrics. Well, what they found with the torpedo bat is all they did was, for a guy like Anthony Volpe, so the sweet part of the bat is like right here, right? The barrel. What they did was what they found was Volpe hits a lot of his contact more towards the label, right? More down here towards the label. So what they did was they took the barrel and they moved it down a little bit more and made this end part thinner. That's why it starts to look like a torpedo bat. So what they're saying is, okay, if he hits it on the barrel and when he misses more towards the label, or he's hitting it towards the label more. Why are we not putting that sweet spot of the bat, the density of the bat, why aren't we moving it down on the bat? That's all they're doing. And then they have to figure out how to weigh it just right, too, because at the end of the day, like for me, I like the 34-inch, 32-ounce bat. Like if I was going to move those metrics, I wanted to make sure it still felt good in my hands. So these are totally legal, Pat. And at the end of the day, too, the old saying, it's the Indian, not the arrow, as far as like at the end, if the Yankees went out and weren't good, they'd be like, oh, these torpedo bats have to go. But the fact that they came out and hit so many pumps out the gate, next thing you know, everyone's like, what's up with these torpedo bats? So you still got to have guys like Aaron Judge and Jazz Chisholm and Anthony Volpe and Austin Wells swinging the bat for them to be good. Yeah, Aaron Judge not using it, but I assume there comes a time in the playoffs it gets cold again. Maybe he picks up a torpedo and tries to, put the hat on inside out, a little bit of a rally. I have a Marucci bat here as well. Will all bat companies be able to do this? And will it be specific for the batter? For instance, I watched Pete Rose, I think, on Fox with, I think Alex Rodriguez was there and
Frank Thomas?
Yeah, maybe
Ortiz?
I forget who was there. But they asked him about like if he was having an off day, and he was like, well, if I was fast on the ball, I would just move up in the batter's box. If I was getting jammed, I'd move back in the batter's box. If I was slow, I'd move to the back end of it. So with you saying like, hey, this guy, whenever he gets jammed, is up here, so they just move the density there. They'll be doing that for everybody then, basically? Is that kind of the next step of this? And how many companies can actually do this? Everybody? I think any company could do it. Like I said, Marucci and Victus have that bat performance lab in Baton Rouge where they fly guys in the offseason and they say, hey, listen, you're swinging the bat for whatever reason, however your bat comes through the zone, you're hitting 65% of the balls towards the label. Let's make a bat for you that moves that barrel down there to optimize when you hit the ball. So for a guy that hits the ball on a standard bat on the barrel a lot, which like an Aaron Judge, most guys do, they're not necessarily going to need the torpedo bat. But at the end of the day, if you're moving the barrel down on that bat, what you're doing is you're exposing the end. A lot of guys don't hit the ball off the end. So you're giving yourself a sweeter, more barrel to hit the ball on. So I just think it'll be good for some guys. And I've also heard there's been eight or so teams that have ordered these torpedo bats going into even last year. Some guys don't like them. Some guys are hitting with them like, I don't like this. And some guys like them. So, at the end of the day, it's a preference. It's almost like, really quick, Pat, it's almost like golf clubs. For golf clubs, you go to get fitted for golf clubs, right? They're like, oh, hey, use this driver. You're better with a stiffer shaft. You're better with this. And all of a sudden, you're like, okay, that makes sense for me. That's what's starting to happening with bats in the big leagues, where they're like, okay, why are we all swinging the same bats that we've swung for so long? Let's try and get an advantage and figure out how we can make a bat that fits your needs better. You're the best. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the mayor. Thank you for the hitting clinic. Ladies and gentlemen, Sean Casey.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sean. We'll be back in 2 minutes and 40 seconds.
It's impossible to be at the top at both of those, essentially. Like, it's
Another farting Dan Orlovsky situation just took place.
Danny Dumps.
What do you mean? It's unbelievable.
Your butt was just talking, okay?
I did not fart.
Dan. This is 2 times now, Dan. This is the Orlovsky thing.
You guys being serious right now, or are you messing with me?
Dan, listen to this clip. This is you just moments ago.
It's impossible to be at the top at both of those. Essentially, like it's
Dan.
I mean, undeniable.
You guys definitely just freaking idiots.
We swear.
You guys 1,000%.
No, we swear. We swear.
No way.
So no one did that then.
Those cartoons.
What did you eat?
I haven't even ate two guys.
Hey, if I were you right now, I'd go grab some food.
My wife texted me. She said, "Oh my gosh, McAfee Show, I'm dead." I go, "Babe, I promise you on everything, I did not fart."
Who runs your Twitter account?
AB.
I do.
What's this all about? I would like to know, in that situation where your butthole started talking, what did I do?
I can't even be serious with you, man.
What are you, chugging a glass of milk, eating some fruit over there, get you some coffee, get that butthole a little bit more active?
I haven't ate. I'm eating yogurt. I have 1,000 text messages right now of people going, "Oh my gosh." I'm like, I just wanted to have like a quiet Tuesday.
I don't even know why we're going to have another hour. Maybe we run that clip.
Yeah. On loop.
We have the video. Shams, let's let you judge here.
It's impossible to be at the top at both of those. Essentially, like it's.
I need to hear the context. I want to give our guy.
Shams, shut up. He said it sounded like a fart.
What did AJ vote?
It's a fart all day long, Kirk. You know that.
Has anybody voted no?
Dan.
I'll be the captain of Team No today.
We need you to do a tie-breaking vote. Is that okay?
Sounds good to me.
It's impossible to be at the top at both of those. Essentially, like it's.
There's no doubt. I mean, I like how he just kept on going right there.
When he was talking, he didn't even break stride as that thing came out. He went and got the buggy, went to the store, grabbed some dude wipes to wipe those ass cheeks, just like I assume you do as well, Cabal.
You have to go dry, wet, dry. Toilet paper, white toilet paper. If not, you're really risking the rest of the day having the swamp ass. You know, Dan Orlovsky, man, he got to accept that, man. He got to wear that with a pride. One thing that really bothers me when people do not take credit for it. You know, if somebody says, "Oh, that was you that farted," I get upset when it wasn't me. I'm like, no, when have I ever not claimed it when it was mine? You should claim it.
But all those airports.
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey,
What?
let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pink.
Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this new NFL Rules Tuesday, April 1st, 2025. Hour 2 of the program starts now. Sports are happening all around us, and we're incredibly lucky that we get to talk about it. The Toxic Tables here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. Sounds like people are going to be moving forward with these torpedo bats. It's all going to be a preference thing, but I think the torpedo bat era is about to begin in a big way, Ty Schmidt.
I hope so, because it's a lot more fun, even if you're not just watching one of your teams. Like, you're going to watch highlights of any of these games, and like last night, you know, it's just like Ellie De La Cruz is a stud, but if we can have more guys just on these days of the week where there's nothing really else to talk about other than baseball games, and we're getting guys hitting 2 homers and having 4 hits and having 7 RBIs, like, that's good for the game as a whole. I hope this whole thing doesn't kind of just slow to a stop in the torpedo bats in like a couple weeks or in a month. Like, once we get later into the season, it kind of just becomes like a non-starter and guys aren't doing this, because it was kind of like what we talked about with Spider Tack a couple years ago. They got rid of it, but it was
Bring it back.
Yep.
Exactly.
Bring back Spider Attack. Let the Spider Attack come back and let them do their best against the batter's absolute best bat. I mean, the fact that these are legal bats and they're just now specifying, and the mayor, whenever he was chit-chatting at the end of the hour and then through the end of the hour into the break a little bit, he was talking about how, Marucci, the paisans down there, the bat makers, they basically have you fly in, they have you hit some, and it's like, hey, here's where you hit the ball more often than not. Let's move the density of the bat to there to kind of at least help you get a little bit better wood every once in a while. Helps your miss be better. Just like with golf clubs, with the wedges, where they align them, where they put weight at. Hey, you're seemingly do this. Let's put a little weight on the tip or on the toe that might be able to bring it back. It's like, I just assumed they'd been doing this forever, but I guess the only difference between everybody was just the weight and thickness of it. This is the next level. This is technology kind of making a sport better, and I think they should let the pitchers have Spider Attack. Let these baseball batters have their best bats, and let's go have them go at it, and even bring those juice balls back too.
Yeah. Well, that's what I kind of figured, that pitchers would start bitching about this, because I would assume from their perspective, like, it is kind of unfair. Like, what you're trying to do when you're pitching, like, you're trying to miss barrels. So it's like, if these guys are moving the bat around and it's like, hey, I'm trying to jam this guy, but now the barrel is essentially like up more near the handle. It's like you're trying to do what like you're setting out to do, but somehow it's like this, they've moved the bat around, so this guy is still hitting it right on the sweet spot. So that's why I think pitchers will be like, well, now we have a massive disadvantage. Like they said, we had a huge advantage with the Spider Attack because all these guys could throw nasty breaking stuff and like the spin rates were ridiculous. Like, so I think they should kind of bring that back to even it out a little bit, because that's going to be their biggest point of contention. It's like, I'm jamming this guy and he's still hitting a 3-run homer. That's bullshit.
You bring back the juice balls, and because you have the juice balls, they're a little bit more slick, so you got to give the pitchers their Spider Attack, okay? So now we don't have to do any more of the stupid checks either, okay? They got their Spider Attack.
It's good on good.
Don't have to look amateur doing the whole, okay, let me see your hands, hat,
pull your pants
cheeks.
down.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Where you hiding it? You hiding it behind your knee?
Show us.
Where's it? Take your shoes off.
Yeah.
We know what you're doing down there in your ankle. That's a weird thing to happen. And it started happening because there's too much Spider Attack. Give them Spider Attack. Give the juice ball. Let the torpedo bats happen. And let's have some baseball, Darius Butler.
I love it, and it just makes too much sense. So I feel like somehow, some way, the MLB will mess it up. They'll mess it up. It makes too much sense for baseball, because we will. More of us will watch casually, especially this time of year. This is what we need. And I'm looking at these De La Cruz highlights, and I'm pissed off. It's not enough asses in the seats for a superstar, a stud like that, doing the shit that he does.
Chilly on Monday night.
I mean, you got to get out there and watch this guy play. I know opening day is a big thing out for the Reds, right?
Yeah.
A bunch of teams, but especially for them, like, come on, look at those seats, man.
There's a lot of games, they're not going to be able to sell out everywhere unless you're in one of those markets that has millions of humans living there, and the team is historic. It's like Pittsburgh, the PNC. That place is beautiful. It is gorgeous. But if that thing's getting 30% capacity, 40% capacity, that's a huge middle of the week potential.
Skeens on a bump?
You were here last night, D-Buck.
Skeens will fill up.
Okay.
But there's 140 other games.
Yeah.
Did you go outside last night here? No, because it was 40 and rain.
Yeah.
Since he's right down the road.
I mean, if I got a chance to watch him play ball,
Sure.
he
That's
may
right.
give me,
You're a
may
good
give me
fan.
to the ball.
Yeah, or you may pick tomorrow.
Joining us now, ladies, what's that mean?
It's like, well, if it's going to be
Weather's a
40
little
and
better,
rain
yeah.
tonight, you know what? There are 161 more of these things, so maybe we'll go tomorrow, and maybe the sun will be out. It'll be nice.
Easy come, easy go. Let's go to a Cincinnati Reds fan. He wasn't there.
No,
I didn't see him there to watch the show. Ladies and gentlemen, college football national champion, Super Bowl champion, Ryder Cup winner, AJ Hawk.
Yeah,
Hawker. A lot of people dress like seats at the Reds game. Am I right?
Oh!
Hey, I give credit to the people that actually went to that game. I went back and sat outside at a lacrosse game, my daughter's lacrosse, and it was full-blown winter conditions, like blowing 40 miles an hour, 40 degrees. It was brutal.
Yeah, which does make it difficult to hit. And we've talked more about baseball, I think, than we've ever done in the past. I'm genuinely interested. I am, especially with this torpedo bat thing. Like, if they're able to make this big of an innovation to make the game much better while still being within the rules, because everything else they've had to, like, kind of critique the rules. Stealing signs, always been legal. Hitting trash cans, too far.
Yeah.
Can't do that, okay? Then, like, steroids, Okay, we're not really testing, but can't do that. And then all of a sudden, everybody is on it, and everybody's awesome, and baseball is more popular than it's ever been. And it's like, well, now we're going to test for everything. It's like there's always unwritten rules in baseball, and then something happens, and then they have to kind of fix it. In this one, not even unwritten rule. They're like, nah, this is within the rule book. They're doing it all right. And to D-Butt's point, we automatically assume that baseball will want to make their sport worse. You know, we automatically assume that they'll be like, this all makes too much sense. They're going to try to ban this. So it seems like it's being welcomed. More teams are wanting them. And if we get those juice balls and a spider tack back with Shohei Ohtani in the business, Juan Soto going over to the Mets making the amount of money he has, obviously a once-in-a-generation guy like Paul Skeens, it's like, is baseball interesting? Are we going to pay attention? I think so.
Yeah, I think this has legs. I think it has legs, but I want to know how much power the pitchers have when it comes to baseball, because I would imagine every pitcher, I don't know, I shouldn't say every pitcher, but don't you think the majority of them are thinking, hey, you guys are messing with the girth on these bats. You can't do this. These guys are hitting 2 or 3 homers every game.
Yeah, and just like how defense is kind of treated in the NFL, which goes great, the one rule change that was being pitched to potentially assist defenders, that thing is not getting passed.
No chance.
Yeah, that thing was not getting passed. So we don't know if it's the same way in baseball with pitchers, but the new rules did pass, and there's nothing that is making defense easier or better, but we do know that there has been some changes made. Replay assist going to be better for all parties, we assume.
Yes.
Especially as the people that are doing that are getting younger and more used to what they're looking at and better with the technology and quicker and able to kind of assist, which we saw happen last year a lot, where a flag would be thrown, then a ref would get a message almost immediately and be like, oh, nope, we're picking it up, we're moving along after a replay assist or further assist or whatever they would say. Love that. Touchbacks to the 35, we're going to get more returns. Okay, people aren't going to want to give that up. Love that. Regular season overtime rules being the same as the playoff overtime rules, as opposed to being going forever. It does have a 10-minute limit. And then the tush push has been pushed back to May for their next date in gathering. What are your thoughts on it all, AJ? What's your big takeaway from what has been voted by the competition committee down in beautiful Florida?
I think this is a little bit of what we expected. Obviously, the defensive holding and illegal contact, I did not expect that to get through on this one. I thought moving the kickoff touchback to the 35, I thought it was maybe 50-50 chance, just because I feel like hasn't the NFL promoted as a big success, like the new weird-looking kickoff to where we have, 1,800 more plays or whatever they call it, and we have a lot less concussions, however you test that.
Yeah, and I think the NFL was very pumped with it, and I think at the end of the season is really when they were flexing. They're like, this is exactly what we wanted. We wanted it to be a dynamic play being added back in, and Turpin obviously goes bananas. I think he signed a deal too. Congrats to him. Obviously, he comes from the XFL, and then he has a big moment like that with a new return. I think they're even trying to make it easier for returns. I think it's like 6.32 now as opposed to 7, whatever it was in the past. So I think they're adding another person. And I think allegedly Roger Goodell was pushing for it to go to the 35, because I had an opportunity to talk to Commissioner Goodell about the new kickoff rules. I think it was about midway through the season, I think midway through the year. And he was pumped with it. He thought the opportunities were great. And then I immediately go, got to move that to the 35 though to kind of scare more people. And his immediate thought and his response was, a lot of people have said that in the special teams world. So kind of an NFL thing to test it, see how it works. Are we going to keep it? Are we going to critique it a little bit? Or are we going to get rid of this? We've seen things get tested and then tossed after one season. Now I think they saw it. They saw the upside of it, especially at the end of the year last year when there was more returns, and they want to create more. I love it. It's good for special teams. It is great for special teams coaches. It's great for special teams players. I'm happy to see that they think they got it right, is what I'm thinking, AJ, from watching them kind of adjust this rule.
Yeah, and it is going to absolutely, force more returns, and we love seeing returns. It's something that people, I guess, take for granted, and it's like an afterthought when you're like a casual football fan. But if you're there and you're on the staff or you're on the team, you know absolutely how big of a deal these things are.
Yeah, if you take one to the crib, you're probably going to win the game. Yeah, like that is just how it goes. If you get one out to the 50. The offense is jogging on the field. I mean, that's a whole...
Force a fumble. Imagine forcing a fumble. If you're covering the first kickoff of a game and you force a fumble or something and get that thing.
Oh,
huge.
Game over.
Yeah.
You used to be able to set the tone with the,
Yeah. Locking arms.
Big moves.
Fuck it. That was...
Yep.
I'm a wedge buster.
Kamikaze.
What is your job?
Crazy.
I bust wedges. What are wedges? Well, it's 3 professional athletes linking their arms together with a returner behind them, and they are running full speed at me. I am running full speed at them.
You got to put a descriptor on those 3 athletes, too.
You're right. Linebackers, defensive linemen, potentially an offensive lineman.
Whoa.
Could be anywhere from 240 pounds to 340 pounds. And they can run. They can move. They will be moving in your direction. And they are trying to bust you. So you're trying to bust them. They're trying to bust you. It's a game of Red Rover, but really you're outnumbered every time. And you're just going to do one of these. And if you can take up 2, even better. So you just do what you got. That's what the kickoff used to be. And you could set a tone. Colts had a guy, I think he was a defensive lineman. He was before I got there. Cracked 4 helmets or something like that. Cracked 4 helmets. He was a
valuable play. That is a valuable player to that squad because the coach can show film of that dude every week, too. Okay, you see, you talk about laying on the line. Check this guy out. He's half brain dead already.
Whoa.
But guys take pride in their job, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think he cracked 3 or 4 helmets or whatever, and they'll show it on NFL films as one of the highlights. Like he was I think he was a 5, so he's right down the middle of the field to the ball, and it was go time, and he exploded through people's heads. And I've seen the clips. I wish that guy was on my team. You should have seen what it was like when I forget his name. I wish I knew his name.
Was his last name Reed?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Lineman 95, maybe?
Big helmet.
Yes.
Big helmet.
Caller.
So fast. Just so fast. Can't do that anymore now because everybody's lining up next to each other. Which is why when the touchbacks happen, these looked worse than the touchbacks of the old because people are just standing at the 30, touchback, all right, jog off the field. And now, I guess there was chatter about moving the kickoff back 5 yards, the kicker, back 5 yards. Instead of moving, the touchback to the 35, you can move it back, kickoff back to the 30, which is what it used to be back in the day. I still think there'll be kickers that could get it out if they wanted to, but that would certainly force some of the weaker-legged kickers to probably put up more balls that'll be returned. How do you feel, though, legitimately about the defensive thing not passing? Do you think that's just forever now? Amen?
Not surprised at all. And as the numbers continue to go up, as quarterbacks continue to make money, betting, people want fantasy, like all of the things that, are offensive in the league. So you're not going to make it tougher for the offense. I think that's why even the tush push, partly why that's kind of been tabled. But I had 0 expectations for the defensive stuff to be passed, just like AJ.
Yeah,
it's not happening.
The other one that's interesting is the seeding because the NFL isn't the only sport talking about the changing of the seeding. I know the NBA they're already talking about just doing 1 through 16. 8 teams on the East, 8 teams on the West, and then completely reseeding them and doing just a 1 through 16 NBA playoff. So this one feels like it could actually happen where instead of making those teams that do go 14-3 go on the road, that maybe they still get a home game.
I'll tell you, I don't know. Playoffs are so successful.
Yeah,
you got to remember, end of day, what are we? We're getting 60 million views. 50 million viewers for these playoff games. With the way the NFL operates, that would be a drastic change with that move.
Would it bring more viewers? Would it bring more fans? That's the question.
So.
Maybe it does. Maybe it does because the games get better and the people get rewarded. In my head, I'm not saying I'm against this at all. I'm not saying I'm against it. What I'm saying is the NFL very rarely will just make a drastic change to something, especially if it's having massive success, which the playoff numbers for football are absurd. I mean, the NFL numbers are bananas.
I heard Schrager say yesterday on his last episode of Good Morning Football how much the owners love if you just win your division.
Yeah,
you get a home playoff game. You get all those ticket money. You get all those concessions. Blah blah blah. And then you yesterday said it basically the same thing, but not from the owner's perspective, but more of a player's perspective. You winning the division means something, and that's awesome. Whether you have the 5th best record in that conference or not, win the division. As someone we come from a division that means something. You have rivalries within the division. I love that winning division means getting a home field.
Yeah, hanging a banner.
Yeah,
it means something.
Yeah, it means something, right?
Yeah, I guess not every stadium has division championship banners, but I mean, you still get in, you still get the hat, you still get in the playoffs, and like of course, winning a division championship means something. But like, how do we talk about it on here? Like, only one team is happy, so sure, it definitely means something to the players in the ownership and everything like that, absolutely. And they're still going to the playoffs. It feels as though having, being in a division where there's only been one great team with the Bills, maybe that's why I feel this way. But like, when you are in these very difficult divisions, the NFC North, the AFC North, like, it does feel like, hey, why, if we win 12 games and, the Ravens or the Steelers win 13, or the Patriots win 10 games and the Ravens and the Steelers, win 12 or 13 games, like, even looking at that, it's like, if I was a Ravens or Steelers fan, it's like, shit, I would want that home playoff.
The Lions pitching this is strictly because Week 18 game against the Vikings, they both have 13 or 14 wins, whatever it was at the time, 13 wins, and they were going to have to go from seed 1, which is permanent home field advantage throughout the playoffs, to seed 5, which is not even a home playoff game. Lions win that game, and they still are the ones making the pitch, because I think they're saying, well, that was bullshit for the Vikings, because if they would have lost that game, they would have been like, so we're the best team, second best team in the entire league, and now we're a 5 seed. We got to go on the road through the entirety of it all. It's a fascinating.
Just had their best regular season in franchise history, and they might have been a wild card team.
I don't see it changing.
Me neither.
They had to play. It was great for the NFL. Like, they had to play their guys. Like, that was basically an extra playoff game we got from two of the best teams in the NFL with like you said, that four spots in the playoffs on the line, going from a 1 to a 5. So I don't see it changing. It's just it's too big a part of the NFL and what the culture is in the NFL.
Yeah, not saying it's not a good idea.
Yeah,
like not saying it's not a good idea and thinking that it would work out, but it's like the way the NFL operates is they'll be like, "What? So you're telling me we pull up the numbers? How many did we get wild card weekend? How many viewers did we have? Okay, how many upsets has there been in wild card weekend? How many teams have gone on a run? It feels like the people that are voting in the room would want to make that big of a rattle to their baby. I mean, they're selling playoff games now directly to streaming platforms, and the numbers and the amount of money they're getting is just gigantic. So, not saying they shouldn't change it, but I don't think that one's ever going to get changed.
No, and like with the NBA, it makes a little bit more sense because like sometimes you see like, well, like the Western Conference has 11 teams that should be in the playoffs, and like the East is really bad, so like that makes sense. But typically in the NFL, it's pretty evened out with how good the teams are in the AFC and the NFC. There might be one division, like, we talked about the NFC South the last couple of years. It's like, whoever gets in here is kind of screwing over one of these teams. But
AFC South.
Yeah.
Whoa. The AFC South is back.
Yeah, the AFC South too. But the Texans have been pretty solid. But very rarely is it like, the NFC has 8 teams that have 10 wins, and the AFC only has 3 teams that have 10 wins, and a couple of those should get in. Like, it is typically pretty evenly balanced between the two divisions.
Coming out of the league meetings, also, we have new flex rules for Thursday Night Football.
Yeah.
Tom Pelissero, the Era, reported that the NFL owners passed a resolution allowing the league to flex Sunday games to Thursday night with 21 days notice. Need 3 weeks if you're going to cut off 3 days of my weekend. No team can do more than 2 short week games on Thursday night, and there can be no more than 2 of these games flexed from Sunday to Thursday. I assume there's a certain restrictor too, like past week 7 or past week 8, like they have with Sunday Night Football. They obviously did this last year one time, I believe, and now they're going to be able to really do it another time, and now they're shortening the amount of time from 28 days to 21 days for the notice to go on a short week. I like any time these primetime games have the flexibility to move a shite game that we all see coming to a good game or a great game if it is available. There's always going to be Cinderella teams that we don't know are going to be good. So whenever the schedule makers piece together these primetime games and which week who is playing what, they have no idea that the Washington Commanders might be one of the teams that everybody on earth will want to watch. A couple years ago, the Cincinnati Bengals go from a 4-win team to a team that ends up going to the Super Bowl. So they're not scheduled to be in a lot of primetime games before the season starts, but all of a sudden, wait a minute, this team should be on primetime TV. I wish networks would pull the trigger more on flexing games. A lot of networks are scared to do it because they don't want to piss off any of the franchises, which are obviously all individual entities. They don't want to ruin any relationships. They don't want to piss off any fan bases either, because if you say no to Like a New York team is scheduled for 3 straight primetime games. They suck. They're not good. We're forced to watch them, but a lot of networks are scared to tell their fan base, which is gigantic, even though their team stinks, that they're not worthy of being on primetime. We're going elsewhere. So I think if it becomes much more common, networks will be much more comfortable making the decision to do it. So I like that they're trying to make it easier for primetime games to get better for all of us, AJ.
Yeah, I like that they're doing it. I think they're going to continue to find creative ways to get all the best games, like as the season goes, in prime time. But think about how valuable these are when the whole schedule release comes out. That's a big deal. Now the NFL does a great job of making that a huge deal. But you sit there and you highlight how many primetime games each team has. So yeah, of course you don't want those taken away from you, but you should also say, hey, if you're one of these terrible teams and you don't have any primetime games, you might get flexed into 2 primetime games if you take care of business early in the year.
Especially with what the ratings are later in the year. Ratings are bigger at the end of the year, so you can earn your way into it. So you're right. I think it does give the teams that are projected to be shite an opportunity, to earn their way into primetime. And that's how primetime should be treated, by the way. When you're in these primetime games, they're doing pieces and segments. They're showcasing your team, your city, your building, your players. Like, primetime games matter, not just because people see the field, the play on the field, or get a chance to experience a fan base and everything like that, but because they're telling the story of your team every single week in different ways. So whenever the Dallas Cowboys are on, 4 straight, 5 straight weeks, I mean, how many different Dak Prescott interviews are we getting in there? How many different, conversations about the Jones family in the stadium? Like, they highlight your franchise. So not having a primetime game sucks for your business.
Oh, yeah.
Sucks for your team, sucks for your players, sucks for your business, sucks for your city. It sucks for your fans that aren't in your city because they can't see shit, unless they get NFL Plus, which is a weapon, obviously, for people that are out of their market. But it's like, I hope they make flexing more common.
Yeah.
I hope it becomes more common.
And when the good games, the good teams aren't flex, it sucks for the casual fan who are just going to turn on the primetime game. So I'm right there with you. And speaking of like Dak, like when Dak got hurt last year, we still had however many Cowboys games. Danny Dimes was hurt in New York, still had the Giants on, every few weeks. So like a team like the Colts this year, when Anthony Richardson is on his MVP run midway through the year, we get flexed a couple Thursday night games. And for the fans, it's always great that we get these games on primetime. But even for the players, it sucks getting to that Thursday night game, but once you get through it and you have that kind of mini bye week, you have that weekend off, that's also awesome. Then the storytelling aspect of it, when you can tell a relevant story that's unfolding in real time, like Jaden Daniels and the Commanders last year, for example, CJ Stroud the previous year, maybe Drake May next year. That's better for the fans, better for the fan bases, and like you said, for the organization.
Drake maybe.
Yeah, most likely. But is it still the situation where some of the networks can say no? Because you remember when the Ravens and Commanders were the 1 o'clock game on CBS, and then the Sunday night game was absolute shite, and everyone was like, oh, well, this is an easy fix. Let's just move the Commanders and the Ravens to Sunday Night Football. But CBS was able to say no. Like, do they still have
can we change that rule?
Yeah, like, is that rule still in place? Because that's the biggest problem.
Yeah, because who's Amazon going to be able to get it from?
Bingo. It's like, okay, so instead of this game, we're getting another shite game that is slated for 4 o'clock. But
because CBS and Fox have the 1 and 4, right? The daytime shows.
Yes. Yep.
They're the ones that have all the games. Like all the games are AFC one side, NFC the other, obviously, and they kind of run that shit. Fox, NFC, CBS, AFC. If you're not in primetime, you're going to be on one of those, probably regionally, depending upon where you're at. So if they were to get a good game, actually, in one of those spots, to be able to do it, and then Amazon, who has no affiliation with them, is like, hey, excuse me. Yeah, we're taking that. There's no way they're going to say
there's no chance.
Isn't it where I could be wrong. I thought it was where Fox and CBS have the right to protect one game each week. So if they do have, let's just say like Ravens, Bengals, they're going to protect that one. But if they're, let's say the Patriots are 8-0 and they're playing the Packers who are 7-0, or in this situation, let's pretend it's the second best game of the week. Amazon can take that one. They can only CBS and Fox, I think, can only protect one game.
That's the problem. Is that like a lot of times there's only 3 good. Like a lot of times, especially once we get to like week 8, week 10, there aren't that many good games. Like,
2 good games on a Sunday is very good for us. They're for like a 5-6 week period.
And guess what? One of them's on CBS and one of them's on Fox. So
or NBC on Sunday night.
Or bingo. So it's like even if in that situation, like it really should be more so like, hey, the 3 primetime games, they get their pick because those are the games that no matter what we are going to watch. We have to watch them. Yep. We're watching. And then on Sunday, sometimes there is that game that comes out of nowhere that wasn't supposed to be good, and it turns out to be incredible. And that's on Sunday, and that's a real treat. It really is. But those Monday, Thursday, and Sunday night games, they have to be the best games of the week.
And on that note, I'm done with the way you guys are stacking these games.
Oh, my God.
1 and 4 o'clock. Okay, we all have the opportunity for the Quad Box, who's on YouTube TV. Okay, for those that aren't on to the streaming era yet, at YouTube TV, and I assume Hulu's going to have this soon. We all doing it. Okay, with the Red Zone channel, we're doing it. There is no reason for there to be 8 in one and then like 3 in the other, or whatever it is. Let's make sure we're making this conducive.
Yeah. Even it out.
Let's make sure this is good. And is Scott Hansen up?
Yes.
Is that what I saw?
Who's doing it?
I don't know. You can't just plug anybody in there, I don't think.
He's up after this year, or
I think he's up.
Yeah, I believe he's like in contract negotiations right now.
They'll get that done.
It feels like maybe.
I don't know. Tony Reale threw his hat in the ring, said, "Hey, that'd be a dream job."
And Tony,
that's from
around the horn.
Excuse you, dude.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure.
He is a free agent. Yeah.
But
Scott?
no,
He'll do a good job.
No, we're not putting Tony in there.
Tony would be. I think his brain would be one that could do it. My thing with that Red Zone operation there, and everybody just talks about Scott not peeing for 7 hours.
Sure.
Scott's got to keep up with 10 storylines in 7 hours. And he's got somebody literally chatting with him while he's doing this about where he's going. Like, the talent that guy showcases. Memory, has to remember first quarter whenever he's in the fourth quarter of all the games. And then also directing of traffic and not sounding like an asshole. Now, there's sometimes where he'll start a narrative that I don't think is the right narrative.
Sure.
Okay, and then he'll have to revisit it a little bit later.
1,000.
Yeah, it can't. But he's flying 1,000 miles an hour around. That's a tough gig. I think he makes it sound.
Throw someone else in there. Can you imagine, Pat, if you throw some random in there and say, here you go, give it a shot for 10 minutes. Imagine you'd be swimming.
I think it's also like a sensory overload too. Because the amount of
imagine starting that though, knowing you're going like 7 straight hours just to starting that every Sunday. He definitely makes it look much easier than it is.
I think that's the thing.
Producing it, like he's basically live producing. You can hear him going at producer. Hey, can we get that? Yeah, get the Browns. Can we get that play back up? So I need Scott in there. Okay.
Yeah. Me too.
I agree.
Me too. Yeah. I think the NFL has to know that, but maybe not.
Well, because Siciliano used to do it, so they might. I mean, if he's playing hardball, they might say, "Listen, we'll bring Siciliano in."
No, he's with the Browns now.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure he'd be okay with leaving the Browns radio job to do Red Zone again. Maybe Adam Shine throws.
Adam Shine could do it.
It's going to take a special talent. It's going to take a special talent to get in there. That as somebody that speaks into a microphone, and I believe I probably have a pretty okay memory and everything like that. That one. I've tried to put myself in his position at home. Be like, all right, how could this work out? This could be. Is this because like college ball needs one, you know? So like, do we pitch that? The NHL could have one. You know, like there's a lot of those that they could have. But it's not just as easy as the concept. The person that is doing it matters in that entire thing. And it's just like, you have to be in for a long time. And the way he does it, great. I don't think that's an easy person to.
He also has to have
kind of doing it.
Yeah, Reese was doing it. He also has to have a general knowledge of 90% of the players in the league in case something happens.
All the background.
Yeah.
Like
that's not an easy gig.
Backup quarterback.
Yeah, all of it.
Like you said too, there's a difference between like doing TV and like having a producer in your ear, like a little bit when you're about. Like I assume that there is a producer in his ear. Damn near every second of that entire 8-hour block.
Yeah.
Hey, this is next. It's like just constantly, basically, it's like having like 15 voices in your head.
Anthony Calhoun wished, I hear voices in my head. They haunt me. What a song.
Yeah.
Anthony Calhoun, Wish TV here in Indianapolis. I believe he was Syracuse classmates with Scott Hansen. So he does a charity golf outing to raise money for the local teachers here, I believe. And one of them is to spend a day at Red Zone. So I got a chance via his documentation of it. And it's like watching Scott go from, I assume it's NFC notes on one thing, AFC notes on another thing, then bouncing to the second page of the AFC note with like 4 TVs in front of him without even skipping a beat, and then even looking at the camera afterwards with like a point, and then goes, now let's get to Las Vegas. And it's like he's directing traffic. He's like a meteorologist. Hey, we need Scott back in there. We need Scott.
It is no longer 7 hours of commercial-free football, though.
And nobody cared. People were pissed there for about a week, and then everybody turned it right back on. And they were like, wait a second, weren't we running L-Raps on this thing this entire time? Whenever he was saying 7 hours of commercial-free football, and then I saw Christian McCaffrey on an L-Rap, I'm like,
the fuck's
I
that?
think that's a commercial. I think you are profiting from this, but now that they're stopping it, picture-in-picture, doing their thing, we assume it was only a matter of time.
Yeah.
It was only a matter of time before that happened. And everybody was pissed on the internet.
Yeah, until the following
Too
Sunday.
valuable. Way too valuable. They have to.
That happens a lot.
And
Have
then,
some ads.
well, yeah, it does.
On the internet.
Yeah, we're mad, and then we're not actually in real life. And then, you know, as soon as it's 12:58, what 4 games am I putting on? There's one of these ones that just kind of tracks them all.
I just put the audio on.
You tell me I got to watch Jags Browns locally. That's the only thing I got. I think I'll go to Red Zone.
Okay, yeah, well, 12:59.
Yeah.
One more week. And then when Scott goes, welcome to 7 hours of Red Zone football. This mother. All right, I'm not. Tomorrow, I'll stop. Yeah, that is. They know it. I couldn't even fathom what the numbers are for Red Zone.
Massive.
That has to be a cash cow.
Oh, yeah.
Absolute cash cow.
I bet those ads
With fantasy football, that's all people care about. It's like who's scoring, like who are my fantasy guys, what are they doing?
Gambling.
Like,
parlays,
Yeah,
everything.
you can't, like touchdowns. As someone who only bets on touchdown scoring parlays, Red Zone is basically the only thing I would have to watch if I was just worrying about gambling.
So schedule makers, what we're trying to say is make Red Zone easier because we're all watching it. So if you have the 1 and 4 o'clock times easily separated, I think they should be able to flop those too. Now, granted, that would be cross networks, I guess. But like if there's 3 1 o'clock games, like should be able to bounce, you know.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, because there's like some 4 o'clock slates that are cropped, and then there's like a loaded 1 o'clock.
11 ones.
Yeah, and it's like we need them all. It's like I wish they would be a little bit more active in making it easier to kind of do it all. Players would have to be the ones that would have to adjust this, obviously, but Sunday to Thursday is really the only biggest one. If you're Sunday at 1 to prime time, not a big deal. If you're Sunday to Monday, not that big of a deal. If you're Monday to Thursday, then you know that would be impossible seemingly, but that would be a little bit different. But I think we're going to get to a point where it's going to be a shell game. Because remember, didn't they say at one point there was a rumor about like the afternoon games were going to be up for sale?
Yeah.
Do you remember that when it was going to be like a
bid?
They were going to do like a draft almost.
Yeah, I think that's only a matter of time.
Really?
Yeah, I think they're going to try to profit off of more games. If we're thinking about the NFL,
obviously. Yeah.
What is the?
They're going to UAE, right? I mean, yeah.
Why are they doing that?
Sean McDermott wants to play over there.
As Con Man would say, it has to be about the shekels.
That is what Con Man would say.
That isn't what I would say, but I'm picking.
Shrek said that is what you said.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, in that question,
a couple times.
Yeah. No, just once.
Thank you today. Maybe spend some of your shekels.
All the time.
Thank you to today's sponsor, SeatGeek, which is the greatest ticket buying platform on planet Earth and
the moon.
Don't like what my algorithm's been doing with the moon.
What happened?
What happened?
Turns out we don't need to worry about tickets on the moon because we never went there.
Okay, all right.
That's what happened.
Okay.
That's just what They might be selling tickets underneath the Great Pyramids, though, Tony.
Okay, all right.
I saw something about that, Con.
Yeah, there's been a lot of that. Too much. I have to tell my algo. I go into search bar and I go, no more moon stuff. Search. Okay? Just hoping that the AI understands. A lot of videos. Saw a lot of interviews, old school interviews.
Oh, yeah. Those are all doctored. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure Buzz Aldrin would go to the moon and then just willingly a bunch of years later just say, "Well, we never went." We never went.
I didn't see that. Is that what you're
I've been
saying?
sucking this guy's dick about going to the moon for 50 years. And you think one day he's just, I'm sick and tired of it. We never went. I hate to burst your bubble.
Is that what you're seeing? I didn't see that.
I've seen that.
That's all what I
the
saw.
most obvious doctored footage ever. And listen, I could go in and.
What's the doctored footage? That's what Connor just said.
They're saying, I mean, his interviews are doctored. You can take this guy's 90 years old. You can take his words from 60 different years and put it together, and he'll say anything. He'll say anything. Shit, I can make him say that he's been to the moon 450 times in the last 3 years. You know what? I might do that. Actually, wait for that. That video will be out in the next week.
That's fair. That's fair.
I haven't seen any of those interviews.
I've seen.
I'm
so
sorry,
many
you've
of
seen those.
Oh yeah, AI voiceovers.
What's your algorithm trying to do to you, John?
I don't know. Well, and it's all these assholes tagging me in it, acting like we didn't go to the moon. Guess what? We did, and no amount of, gerrymandered and no amount of research that you do is going to convince me otherwise. Okay. You're picking and choosing.
It sounds like your algorithm is joining their side too. You're getting attacked
I know.
from all angles.
Can't do it anymore.
Some of these AIs are watching the moon landing videos and saying,
okay.
"Well, this isn't real."
Are they?
You guys believe this?
Community
Is that possible?
Yeah,
But you did an
Is that
AI
possible?
certification certificate class.
What?
Yeah, certification is the word. Yep, you get
You
it.
got certified in AI?
Took a 10-minute class that turned into a 4-hour class. I think he went to expert level. This guy might have his master's degree.
45 minutes. I got 45 minutes worth.
It was great work.
I got to go back in. It was, just learning some of the basics, some of the terminology.
What do we need to know about AI that maybe we fear or that we don't know about?
Yeah.
The things we're fine. We'll always need humans.
Okay.
We'll always need humans.
What's the great
That's
benefit from
exactly what they want you to think.
We'll always need
D-Bunch.
humans. The great benefit. I mean, the benefit is you can just multiply whatever work you're doing. So whatever, if you could just obviously type shit in how we build photos on Grok, the AI photos. If you want to put a flyer out, if you want to put classes out, if you teaching, learning, obviously all those. Cheating for sure. So kids now,
that's the thing.
They just type in anything and just.
Why will we always need humans? Because we direct that thing.
We direct it, and then for now. Mm-hmm. For now, because
he has a certificate, not you. Okay, I watched this guy do a class.
Itself, though, hey, D-Bot, how do we keep it from directing itself and directing us and changing, ruining us?
I don't have the answer.
Well, why'd you take the class?
You just got certified, man.
This is the class.
Look how official that is.
He took the class, okay, and this one said, "Can computer really think?" That was number one, and then he went through 45 minutes, went through it all. I believe what you told me though is they'll never understand conversation. AI will never.
So I would say. No. So it's just certain context that we have with conversation. So even in our age group, it's certain conversations that we can have amongst 10-year-olds,
Mad Dummy,
and it would just go completely over their head. And it's fucking old people that are 90 years old that can say certain things that we wouldn't pick. Or if we're speaking a language, if we're speaking Spanish, but Spanish speakers can speak and say things that we wouldn't necessarily get. So yeah, they can figure some shit out, but it's so much context that at the end of the day, they're machines and they're learning.
It's just the beginning, though, D-Bud. It's just the beginning.
It's another class.
It is just the beginning.
This is 201. Can a computer talk like a human? That's a good episode.
That was the part we're talking about.
Yeah, but see, that's the problem is that the
Sweet
AI
Blake in that?
You just mentioned school and humans and stuff. Like AI will become so good at it that people won't actually learn anything. So then people will start to get much dumber, and then the AIs get smarter.
We're talking about idiotocracy, brother.
I'm just saying, look out.
The AI put that class together for him. So that was a thing.
Those were humans, all right? The humans over at IBM.
Do you know that?
Oh, at IBM?
You sure it wasn't Watson?
You mean Watson?
The supercomputer?
Might have been Watson.
And that's why they're always going to need humans, too. Who's going to do all the manual labor? Who's going to wear the shackles and chains that the AIs eventually... Guess what? We are. Mm-hmm. We are. That's the, So, yeah, they will always need humans.
Before that happens... Why don't you go get a ticket to a game?
That's a good idea.
Enjoy it while you can.
You might as well. You're alive, but are you living? Go live and experience something live with our friends at SeatGeek. They have over 28 million downloads. 28 million downloads.
That's a lot of downloads.
SeatGeek is still the number one rated ticketing app. How about it? 28 million downloads. Number one.
Those real downloads?
Yeah. What's
that?
that?
What is that?
What do you mean?
Is that AI doing half of that?
Well, the thing about the AI that they have, okay, SeatGeek's AI has been around for a while. It's a mature AI. It actually scans the rest of the internet to make sure that the ticket that you're buying is a good ticket to buy.
Hell yeah.
Their AI will snoop around other places, and they'll say, you know what, this is an overpriced bullshit ticket, and there'll be a red dot next to the ticket, which is basically SeatGeek's AI telling you, hey, go find a better ticket elsewhere. Then it'll snoop around and say, oh, it's a good ticket. They'll put a green dot next to it. So you not only have an AI tag team partner whenever you're shopping at SeatGeek, but you also have a transparent ticket buying platform that tells you, this is a bad deal. Do not buy this ticket. Speaking of, we have 1,750 tickets going up for sale tomorrow at noon for Big Night. 1 week from tomorrow, we're able to move some cameras.
Ooh.
Open up a section or two. Get more people in the giveaway zones. Get some more people in the building. Get some more people to experience a big night in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Now, I do not know if any tickets will be on SeatGeek because this will obviously be sold through Ticketmaster tomorrow. But every other event that happens in the world, SeatGeek has tickets to. And right now, you can get $30 off your tickets with code PMS2025. Used to be Pat, remember? Then it got on to Reddit. And then Ticket Stooge, who is now Leverage Stooge, he said, hey, we can't just have this thing getting spammed out here. We're going to have to change it. So we've changed it. PMS2025. That works for all event types, NBA, NHL, concerts, comedy, whatever. Shout out to SeatGeek.
Love you, SeatGeek.
Restrictions apply.
Always.
Yeah.
Can't get $30 off tickets that are less than $30.
That would make sense.
SeatGeek's not paying you.
No.
But shout out to SeatGeek. SeatGeek is taking care of us.
Yeah, love SeatGeek. That's how I went to
won't it help though? Isn't it going to help the fact that I don't know if you guys saw like Kid Rock wearing like his Evel Knievel jumpsuit. He was in there and they're trying to pass a bill to for resale, right? For resale tickets where the secondary buyers come and screw everybody else over. So that's a good thing.
He was in where?
Yeah, he was in the Oval Office and
Kid Rock?
Yeah, Kid Rock. Yeah, he was. He was dressed like Evel Knievel and Evel Knievel's son.
Robbie Knievel, do not forget.
Robbie
Put some
Knievel.
respect on his name. Come on now.
Absolutely, second generation Knievel.
Robbie killed it too. Robbie was not like evil too. Like he was awesome. Robbie killed it.
Here's Kid Rock.
Here we go.
This AI?
Nope. No, that is SKR, brother. That is.
He ordered a missile strike on Gaza right after this.
That's Kid Rock. But they did sign a bill trying to eliminate ticket fraud and scammers. So, like, even obviously with Big Night Out, I did not know the extent of it. We had no idea what was going to happen with those ticket sales. But it was pretty evident that there was some sort of AI or robots, buying tickets before anybody else could get them. They were just or there was multiple people with multiple different logins trying to get those and then immediately going up on the secondary market at an up price. I think Taylor Swift had a situation take place where it ended up in the Supreme Court, I think, with the entire fraud and the entire thing. Yeah, so this has been a business that people have been taking advantage of, not only venues and the fans, but also the artists and everything else going on. So that would be a big deal. I don't know how they regulate it though. Like we were just talking about AI, and Darius, who is our certified AI expert, said these motherfuckers will never be able to talk to us because they won't be able to catch our drift. They won't be able to understand what we're saying in that whole thing. But I think they'll always be able to buy a ticket. No doubt. I think AI will always be able to be like, boom, here's my credit card, and I want it, and you're out. So how do they monitor that? How do they regulate that? Hopefully they get that under control, because as somebody who loves going to live events, whenever you see, like, we're selling tickets for $20 to get in. Some of those tickets were hundreds of dollars.
$500, $600
immediately on the secondary market, and it's like, that's so fucked up for our people. Like the people that I wanted to get, the reason why it's priced that way is because the people that I wanted in. I want that crowd in that building.
Yes.
That's who I want. But instead it goes, once again, this is my first show, our first show, very small sample size, but even we experienced it and felt it. I couldn't even imagine what these big time artists feel about it, and hopefully they do get that set. A lot in the music industry is kind of having to get figured out or kind of getting sorted right now. The ticketing thing is very, very real. Comedians as well, obviously.
Yeah, and the ownership of everything too. Like that was the biggest thing for, it feels like a couple of years when it came to Taylor Swift and her owning her own music, and then people started selling their entire catalogs. You remember that, where
Justin Timberlake
sold all of his music. Yeah, Springsteen. Yeah, it's very interesting.
But then they can re-record them.
Yes. And then
Taylor's version,
bingo, it's their own.
Is bigger than Like, my wife only listens to Taylor's version because she's like, I'm supporting Taylor. And it's like, hell yeah, good for you. Good for Taylor. She's getting
double.
Yeah, double dip.
Which, once again, Taylor Swift is a super genius. And a lot of these artists are great business folks. So if that was to happen, I think he'd probably win over some folks. Let's go back to the league meetings happening down in Florida. You know, the Pittsburgh Steelers, talking about business, proposed an ability to chit-chat with the free agents during the tampering period. You know, we had free agency frenzy on ESPN. ESPN NFL had their free agency frenzy on ESPN2 at the same exact time, biggest day of the offseason. They had their show. We weren't allowed to have anybody from their program on our program. We're live at the same time they are, but it's a big deal. But that's just the opening of the tampering period. That's not even the actual free agency period starts, which is on Wednesday at 4 o'clock. So, like, ESPN viewed the tampering period opening at noon so big that they wanted multiple shows covering it immediately at noon. But the rules of the NFL were that the teams weren't even allowed to talk to the players, the free agent players that they had negotiated a deal before the tampering period even began. They talked to their agents, obviously. They were able to get a deal done and everything, but they weren't able to, like, meet them because it was some reason prohibited. So the Steelers were like, shouldn't we be able to at least chit-chat with these guys we're going to give $100 and some million to a day before we meet them? And that got passed. I think probably everybody was feeling that way. Up to 5 free agents you're allowed to chat with starting at the tampering period. They're also saying it's a way to set up either meetings or medical or whatever the case is. I think it's a good idea. I think a lot of things that are getting passed right now make common sense, and this is certainly one of them.
Yeah, they're allowed to do one video or phone call with up to 5 free agents, like you said, during that tampering period that started, I believe, at noon on Monday, before the beginning of the league new year. But yeah, it makes sense. Like, sure, you could talk to the agent, and the agent can say, yeah, everything's good here, but you would much rather talk to the person who's going to be on the team, who's going to be playing for you. This one, there was a lot of rules that got passed that just were, like, made sense, and we're like, why wasn't this already a thing? And this was probably one of them.
Yeah, I like this.
Yeah.
I like this. I can't believe this had been happening.
Without it?
Yeah. Like, I think this is one of those ones where I was surprised when I found out that people weren't talking to the new team. Yeah, we signed this guy to $230 million. Did you talk to him? No. Talk to the agent. The agent said he's a good guy. The agent said he's a good guy. Well, you fucking better hope so. I mean, and then it doesn't happen. Obviously, I'm talking about Cleveland, but it is this makes a lot of sense. I like this.
Yeah, you think it'll change free agency at all? Because, like, a situation like the Patriots with Milton Williams where, you know, hey, the Patriots are out, he's signing with the Panthers, but instead of him flipping back to New England in that situation where if he is kind of talking to the Panthers on a Zoom call or something, like, he will even have a chance to call the Patriots back per se, because if their one call is over, you know, then he doesn't, you know, because then he ends up with the Panthers. And then do you think some guys, let's say they schedule 5 people, but, you know, you don't even make it to the 5th team and they sign to the first team, like, does that call count towards the people that you have kind of slotted as the 5?
Yeah, and are you spending all 5 on top money guys, or is it like second, third wave guys too that you kind of want to chat with that you're paying medium salaries to? There'll be a strategy to all this.
It will be. It always is. But I'm with you. I like it too. If you're, especially from the team standpoint, player standpoint too, team standpoint, I think it was Tomlin or someone from the Steelers organization saying, yeah, we just got time to spend intimate time with Aaron Rodgers and get to know him. And if you're investing tens of millions of dollars into a player, into a person, you definitely want to know and have some in-person conversations with that individual. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, who is this guy? He's getting paid more than anybody in our locker room? Yeah. How about the Steelers signing DK Metcalf to this deal and then being like, we need to be able to fucking talk to this guy. Okay, I am sick of this. You know, because the Steelers, this isn't really their MO. Day one free agency or anything like that. This is not their thing. Now they're getting involved in it. They're like, you guys have been doing what? This whole time? No way is that how we're going to be doing this going forward. Have an update here. We talked about Kirk Cousins potentially going to the Cleveland Browns, which has been gaining steam because of Kirk Cousins' relationship with Stefanski. Hembo, genius, stats guy from ESPN, who we appreciate.
It's AI.
He is AI.
Bit of AI.
Hembo is an AI.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a human AI.
Yep. Him and O's.
O's is a demon.
Yeah, Pelissero, I think, is what you're talking about.
Yeah, Pelissero is the one that's plugged in.
Yep.
Yeah, he is. I mean, O's has a little bit of everything. He's a demon. He's AI. He's an alien. He's all of it.
He's a freak.
He is a little bit of a freak.
Yeah.
Shapeshifter, probably.
There is a chance he does do a little, you know, now you see me, now you don't type thing. Anyways, Hembo, the stats AI from ESPN, said Kirk Cousins had a $107 .5 passer rating with Kevin Stefanski as his offensive coordinator for the 2018-2019 Vikings. That's the highest playing under any OC of his entire career. So saying that Stefanski and Kirk Cousins could potentially do well together is with stats backing that up. Highest of Kirk Cousins' careers with Stefanski as the OC. Does that change anything for you, AJ? You think the Browns are going to pick up Kirk Cousins potentially here in the next month or two?
I mean, I think it can't hurt. It definitely changes a little bit. The fact that they have a history and a past together, like why wouldn't Stefanski want to bring Kirk Cousins in? Now the question is, like, can they pay it? How much more does he owe? Like 80 mil, something crazy? More than that?
I don't know the exact. I know it's 37. I think it was 27, then an extra 10 as of March. I forget the date, just a few weeks back.
They can make it work, though, right? If they want him, they can make it work, can't they?
Well, if the Falcons want him out of the building, they can make it work. Like the Falcons can pick up a lot of the pay. You know, that's what happened with the Russell Wilson Denver Broncos situation where he goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, I believe the Broncos, did they cut?
Yes.
They cut Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
So that was a part of that entire deal with the dead cap. But it's like Falcons trading him, you can negotiate how much of the salary you want to pay versus the other team. And what will somebody give up? Will the Cleveland Browns be able to give up? Who knows?
Hurts has to also sign off on it, right? Since he has a no trade clause. And he said, what was that, 18, 19?
Yeah, 2018, 2019.
So Brady's
Brady's
still your quarterback?
Yeah, Brady's in New England. Yeah.
Oh.
So.
What are you saying, dude?
About
I
10
was
years
just
ago.
trying to remember what
He
was
hates
happening.
Kirk Cousins. We found that.
I like Kirk.
Why,
I
D-Buck?
like Kirk. I'm talking about football and the players. We're not making this personal. We're talking about football.
Oh, no, I bet as a player.
Hey, we don't make this personal.
No,
right?
we're talking football. NFL Pro Plus Premium, like me and Bruce are dialed in there.
In the quarterback series, like I think no one looked better than Kirk Cousins. I feel like Kirk's one of those guys that everyone does like, but boy, did he stink at football last year, you know?
There were some moments there where he looked like he was still struggling from the Achilles and maybe not fully comfortable in the offense.
Which very possible. So perfect thing for Cleveland would do would be, hey, let's sink some more money into this quarterback room. And you know what, Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski, sure, ownership screwed you. Instead of drafting a young guy, let's bring in an old guy. And then guess what? If this doesn't work out, you know what? Maybe next year.
Well, it does, from what Haslam said down at the owners' meetings, this is what he said.
Let's address the elephant in the room. You know, we took a big swing and miss with Deshaun. We thought we had the quarterback. We didn't. And we gave up a lot of draft picks to get him. So we've got to dig ourselves out of that hole.
Shouldn't they be held accountable for that decision?
Listen, I've said this, I think, numerous times. The Deshaun Watson was an entire organization decision, and it ends with D&I. So, you know, hold us accountable.
Hey, don't you think Andrew Berry and Stefanski should be held accountable? Listen, I've said this, I think, before. We haven't heard it. We've all assumed it was the case. We all assumed it was the Haslams that decided to pay Deshaun, which is why Stefanski and Andrew Berry have been given this entire leeway. Because if you continue to not have success, you would think that they would be looking for turnover. But I think Haslam looks Andrew Berry in the eye and goes, we screwed you over pretty good. Okay,
It's on me.
It's the first time he said this public. Well, I don't know how public was that. Was that? Did you know he was?
Yeah, ESPN recorded that, is what we were told. That was an ESPN recording. I believe there's probably no cameras, maybe just audio in that room. But it did sound like that was a phone under a pocket. But ESPN recorded it. Don't. Please.
Hey, he's not passing blame. I like it.
Taking ownership.
I respect it, too. We took a big swing, big miss. It sucks. We move, see another day. Just like we will see you tomorrow. Goodbye. But, like, I enjoyed the way he laid that out.
Yes.
We took a big swing, okay? Because think about how good he felt whenever he decided to do this.
Oh, man.
Cleveland Browns are no longer in the conversation. It's either going to be the Falcons or the Saints, allegedly, was the Deshaun Watson market at the time. He wanted out of the Texans, He was wearing a green hat one time. He's going to Philadelphia. No, he's going to the New York Jets. Well, then everything very, very, very serious off the field came around. And the thought was, well, is this guy still going to be able to get traded? Who cares? Who wants him? Well, he's on a football field. He's unbelievable. And obviously, these are just allegations at this point. All that happens. And then the market becomes him in Atlanta and the Saints are his final spots. Cleveland had been ruled out. And then out of nowhere, Haslam's walking around his office with his wife. There's a guy available. We're going to have to take it on shins a bit. Okay?
Top 3 quarterback.
Did you see that J.J. Watt mic'd up clip?
Yeah.
Where he's walking off the field with Deshaun Watson. Doesn't ask Pat. He says, sorry we wasted an NFL MVP here. If you're
so sorry.
J.J. Watt thinks he's good. Don't I mean, we should. Yeah. What do you think it's going to take? Go to Andrew Berry. What's it going to take? Andrew Berry calls Mulugeta. Mulugeta goes, $230 million fully guaranteed. That's a lot, Andrew Berry says. Back to Mulugeta. Mulugeta goes, so you want him in Cleveland or not? Andrew Berry hangs up, calls the Haslam's office back. He said $230 million guaranteed. Haslam and D go, we thought he was going to say $250. We saved $20 million. Fucking send it. No flubs. Because that happened like overnight.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
It was like a boom, bang, pow, boom, gone, signed. Biggest deal in history. Most guaranteed money in history. Oh, my God, the entire NFL is now on notice because of what Haslam just did. And it just has not worked out.
No. At all.
At all. On the field, off the field.
Might have set the NFL back. Fully guaranteed contracts.
might have ruined other quarterbacks.
Might have changed that for. I know. Josh Allen just got what $250, something like that.
$330.
Yeah,
total.
fully guaranteed. But once Deshaun happened, we thought like, oh yeah, this is when Lamar is up and this guy's up and that guy's up, and for it to work out like it did. But at that time, you got a top 3-4 quarterback in his prime available,
walking around his office. We did it, D.
I was actually waiting for him in that clip to be like, you know what? Now that I think about it, this was kind of D's idea. I was
just throw.
Yeah. Look, I said no, but D, she wanted it. So
think about Andrew Berry going in every year to describe the team. Now, well, since we're in a deficit of $120 million, okay, this is what everybody else can do.
Remember?
This is what we have the capability of doing. And Jimmy's like, I get it. Yeah, you got another 3-4 years. You need it. Jesus. I messed it up. I get it. I made a big dumb decision. But remember, in a moment, we're going to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
In a moment, we're going to win a Super Bowl.
If it worked out, think about it. I mean, it was a big swing, no question, huge swing. So either you're the hero and you find a way to win a Super Bowl, or this is probably worst case scenario, right? What happened with it?
Yes.
No doubt.
Yeah, for all parties.
Worst, hard to think of worst
except for Deshaun.
Yeah.
All parties except for Deshaun.
That's why, like, the Schrager at the top just feels like it makes more sense, because then you at least give him, like, hey, now your clock's actually on. You get 3-4 years. You have Schrager Sanders, and the conversation about the draft is how deep the pass rushers and the linemen are, and the tight ends. It's like, hey, the quarterbacks basically are Cam Ward, Schrager, Jackson Dart, it feels like now. And then kind of the next tier, if the tier thing is how we're kind of approaching it when it comes to the group of players. So, I mean, maybe they do the Carter and Myles Garrett and roll with, Kenny Pickett. But it does feel like, to what Schrager said, hey, if they told Garrett there's a plan and Garrett believes in the plan, and that plan does include $40.1 million a year for Myles Garrett, like, maybe that is a legitimate choice for them.
Yeah, that's a whole different animal there whenever Andrew Berry goes back to Haslam and says, I got bad news again, buddy. What's that? Myles Garrett, not only is he dunking on me in his statement, but he wants the hell out of here. And Haslam goes, what's it going to take? So Andrew Berry goes, what's it going to take? $40 million. Let me go back. Send it.
Yeah.
Myles Garrett, keep him around.
And he tried to meet with Haslam. And Haslam.
I don't know. You talk to Andrew Berry.
Tell Andrew what you need.
Yeah.
You tell Andrew what he needs. He'll call me in a panic. I'll agree to it. You've seen this game before.
Yeah.
What if the Browns win? Hey, good luck, Dog Pound.
Yeah. What if?
No chance.
They won't.
No chance.
0%.
They could.
0%.
Zero.
I feel like you
I
say
never
this
say
every
zero.
offseason. Hey, what if the Browns win? What if the Browns are good That this year? division is hell.
Yeah, but I try to be as optimistic as possible.
Hold on,
for all
win
these
what?
things. Just like I'm optimistic about the Colts. Holy hell.
Trails win.
Win what, though?
Yep.
Like the Super Bowl?
Browns make the playoffs. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm saying, what if the Browns make the playoffs with all this conversation?
I mean, you said it. The Bengals, the Texans, Commanders, none of those teams were making the playoffs before the year that they did.
That's true.
You're right. Myles Garrett, too, a little bit more ownership of the Browns. Not that he didn't have it before, but he's recharged.
Yeah, we saw him on the in-season Hard Knocks Texan in the meeting room. That's a good point.
Yeah, he was doubted.
He's playing Candy Crush.
It's a good game. It's a good game.
It is.
Look, look at the success of the number 2 picks the last couple of years.
Yes.
Exactly.
CJ.
Good luck.
Jaden.
Schrager. That was the thing. The Browns are definitely taking a quarterback at 2. That was like 2 weeks ago.
That was Mary Kay Cabot said that, yeah.
She said they might take 2 in the first round.
They're trading back in to get another quarterback in the first round.
Yeah.
Mary Kay's been covering the Browns a long time.
Long time.
That's April Fool's.
No,
This
she
is
said
weeks
a couple
ago, brother.
With that being said,
That
you
was
got
her
to watch
pundit
April
hat.
Fools. You got to watch
She
April
put her
Fools.
pundit hat on.
It's always tough with the insiders.
Hey, the goalpost got me. The goalpost got me. No joke. I was like, I don't know how they're going to do it. It was going to obstruct some views from people in the end zone. I don't know how the ball. Maybe it'll block a few extra things, but hey, why not? Like, I'll go watch.
The thing I was thinking is that thing was a little bit wider, you know. But what if they have palm trees that go in?
Yeah.
You don't want that. You got to make sure those palm trees are going out. Mm-hmm. You know, we need to keep the top clip tight. You ever see those guys?
Seats. Sell seats on the crossbar too. Make it wide so people can sit there and watch the game. It's like the camera. If the ball hits them, it's good.
Okay, I like that. And people can actually bat it in.
Yeah,
they could hang underneath like a roller coaster,
like beer pong. Yeah, it hits the rim. Boom, knock it
They
out.
can bat it in. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. I mean, are we trying to get people to the game or not? Are we trying to grow the game or not?
Are we?
This isn't Pitbull Stadium, is it?
No,
it's FIU, right?
FIU, correct.
Miami.
Because he's Mr. Worldwide for the International University.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Pitbull Stadium. We got an addition to the Thunderdome, AJ. I don't know if you saw it on the wide shot. I don't know if it was here yesterday when you were here. I have no idea.
No.
Oh, no, this was coming. Like, this was on the way. I didn't get to see it.
Yeah, that's the punch your power thing.
You guys been doing it?
Hit it a couple times this morning. Bruce, who is a trained boxer, if you do recall.
Oh, okay.
Hit a 921 on that thing. I was not here for it, but he had to give it a good thump. I banged it a little bit. I'm a little worried, though. I'm a little worried. It might be 11, but we're going to have to reset it.
Sure.
Oh.
Hit one, 8-something, let's say. Hit one, 9-something, and then I really laid into it. I mean, the last one was by far the cleanest rattle and put full ass into it. And it was like 801 or like lowest. And I'm like,
uh-oh.
Can't have that.
Get that thing calibrated.
Needs to be calibrated.
Can you kick it? Can you get your leg up there and anyone kick it? That'd be sweet.
Right now.
What's that?
I think it's currently calibrated right
Yeah,
now.
it looks like it is.
It's been dancing this whole fucking time. I know it needs to figure it out. It looks cool, though.
It does look cool.
Yeah, it is sweet.
Kicking, it's going to be tough, I think, unless you do one of the, also in my algorithm as of late, I think it's karate. They go through the boards.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where they run, get tossed.
Yep.
And then they hachi.
Oh,
And
the
then
high
they
ones?
land it.
Yeah.
They get tossed?
Tossed.
Oh, I haven't seen
Yeah,
it.
Run,
thrown up.
Galloping like a clean run, and then they catch somebody, and then boom, they're in the sky. They're doing
I need your algorithm.
4-time one of these through a board that's being held like up on a pillar. So nasty.
I've seen that. It's nuts.
Because I was
I didn't see that.
I was, I've said this before, but back in the day, you had a friend that knew karate. You were okay in most places.
Without a doubt.
You know? But now with the mixed martial arts thing, the karate one, he's going to need more. We're going to need more than just karate.
Be the rat.
Oh, really? I don't know.
Yeah.
I think
The jiu-jitsu guy will get you down.
Yeah, I'll take a jiu-jitsu, taekwondo, black belt.
Yeah, what you're saying is all the other ones.
Yeah.
Like karate, good to have in the arsenal. Back pocket can,
Yeah.
Until you go to the ground, though. Karate's not going to help you on the ground.
Yeah, I'm worried about the MMA.
Cauliflower ear.
Yeah, because they're going down the bottom, and you're going through that board in there. I think karate good to have with you.
Sure.
But I think you need more. What I'm saying is, if I got a black belt in karate with me, I'm pumped to be with a ninja. I'm pumped. But I do know that if we get to somebody that has ground and pound capabilities, we're both fucked. Okay. Now, if karate person also has ground and pound, another belt.
Oh, yeah.
With now we're in a great spot.
Okay.
Need multiple belts now to be completely safe in a lot of places. But with that being said, when I saw the flying karate kicks, we're back.
Oh, yeah.
Because, the cauliflower, you want to go ground and pound. If you got a karate friend, you need to take it to the sky.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so that is what I learned from my algo. And you just got to have strategies. You got to know where you're at. You got to know who you're with. Got a karate guy? Start practicing this one.
Yep.
If you get his ass up in the sky, from what I have seen, like a cat, land on their fucking feet, and while in sky, precision.
You got a chance.
Okay.
And it's loud, too. There's a lot of yelling.
Very loud.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure it has a lot of good carryover in any real combat situation.
It does.
Guy up on a ledge at a bar.
Yep.
Throws a bottle down at you. Okay. You dodge bottle, obviously, because you're with a guy who knows karate and he has the seventh sense to let you know that that's the case. You turn, you see him. He goes, "What? Your karate friend."
High kick!
You assemble. Okay, you and the lads, put your drinks down for a second. You're not throwing bottles back, obviously, but karate guy, karate friend, karate man runs you cheerleader toss up, and that guy up on the bar goes from this to poof, that, and he's out. And that's, hey, now we're doing two-story fighting, and that's what it's like when you're in the sky with a karate guy.
Need that animated right there. That
I mean,
whole
yeah,
story you guys just
now I'm
laid out.
rethinking it. You're right. I got to get
Time
karate.
for the high kick! And they run over
The
there.
issue is, if you don't have a ground and pounder, you do have to go to places that have 2 stories.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a big part of the crew.
Only 2-story places.
Can't be at one of those shithole bars that has a real low roof.
No.
That is not where you want to be.
That's
We're
the good
screwed.
news.
We are screwed there.
Every karate high flyer knows ground and pounder, so it's like they're basically a package deal.
Okay, you better hope so. If not, need to stay on the lower level of a multi-level bar.
Sure.
Because they're never going to expect coming out.
But what if he's on the 3rd story and he jumps down to the 1st and kicks him from there? Doesn't need boosted.
Is he? Are we fighting a karate kid as well? We didn't know that was
No,
the case.
our karate kid sees our target down on the 1st level. He's on the 3rd level, jumps off the balcony. He doesn't need your help to boost him. Are we doing that too?
Maybe he's eyes. He's our spotter. Is what you're saying.
He's like our sniper. He's Jack Ryan up in the tower.
Then you become the filmer, the guy who's tossing.
You need to get that on film.
Yeah, I got the camera then.
Yeah, I need to get that on film, especially if guys coming down from 3 stories, 30 feet, and he comes through, glides through the.
Maybe a front flip.
Oh my God.
Lands it easy. There's like a parkour roll to land.
I do enjoy the parkour. That's been in my timeline too. I seen this guy do he did a double McTwisty sideways flip thing, a Benson Boone, I'll call it.
Okay,
He's
yeah.
doing a lot of those.
Yeah.
This thing, 2 buildings.
Was it necessary?
No. Might have been 40, 50 full. I mean, just so casual
Yeah.
jumping over. That's dead.
Yep.
And I think there was rocks. I think there was rocks on both sides. It's like, what's wrong with?
Oh yeah, they die.
Not the one I saw.
It happens.
Outrageous.
No, I know, but I'm saying those guys are unbelievable. They'll jump super high and they have a way like they use their body to like absorb the landing and then roll out of it. Like they're freaks.
They're legit.
They use it every day in everyday situations.
I would.
Seems like it. That's what it's for.
If you're a parkour guy.
Yeah, if I had that, it'd be fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Jackie Chan did. Remember, he used to get out of everywhere. There was a
Oh, yeah.
wall. I don't think so. He
No.
saw stairs. Pump, 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 bang.
He's the GOAT.
Yeah,
he is the GOAT.
Him and Tom.
Yeah.
Jackie's still doing it?
Oh yeah, he's in
Yeah.
Karate Kid movies coming.
Killing
out.
it.
Karate Kid Legends.
You know
Jackie
some-
Chan.
Oh shit.
Trailer actually dropped today, I think.
You know the best thing about those Jackie Chan movies? We're all going to say it. The credits.
Oh yeah, the outtakes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought it
cut
was the fact that he did his own stunts.
Well, that.
Yeah, because
You
the
see a lot
bloopers
more of the
from-
stunts.
That's
Never
what
see a
the-
Jackie
Yeah.
Chan movie, Diva?
I don't stay for the credit. I only stay for the credits in Marvel movies.
This is unbelievable.
Respect.
So you just,
Rush Hour.
Just watch Rush
This guy
Hour.
disrespects every movie.
I watched Rush Hour the other day too.
I watched it this weekend.
It was on.
Yes.
Yeah, I loved it. I was trying to guess the characters. Like, do I still know? Because very early there's a boat war fight scene.
Oh yeah.
Juntao.
First, Juntao, shows up with the
Yeah.
hair.
Yep.
He goes, I'm looking for Juntao. And then he goes, why are you looking for me? And then boom, it's off. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, we're back in it.
And I don't think my wife had seen Rush Hour, which was a full,
What are we doing here?
Great movie.
what? Conversation that happened between us. Had to pause it actually to have a how does that happen? How does that one slip through the cracks? We get there. I haven't seen a Disney movie, so I guess she had a lot to say back. We press play to that thing. I forgot.
So good.
So that's a good one.
Yeah, they're on
Rush
Netflix.
Hour 2 also holds up very good.
But you need to stay for the credits. I mean, that's
Yeah.
Remember?
That's when they're all laughing at Jackie and Jackie.
Why only the Marvel movies?
Well, you gotta
Easter egg.
post credits. You gotta see what's coming next.
They
Oh,
introduce
give you a little-
different
they do that?
characters.
yes,
So-
they do.
Whose voice is that?
Just some superhero fan. It sounded like.
Cody Rhodes loves
Me, basically.
Who was it? Was that Shady who was running up and down giving spoilers for Marvel movies? He became my favorite human when I heard he did
They
that.
hated him on Twitter.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Hey, I got to see Blank early. It was wild how bum bum bum
Yeah.
bum bum bum.
Can't believe Iron Man died. He said on like the Wednesday before the movie came out, and people were not happy.
That happened to
Yes.
Hulk as well. Mark Ruffalo was doing an interview before
Yeah.
the Infinity War. And he's like, just wait, everybody dies. And then was I not supposed to say that? And they were not happy with it.
So now the superhero world is not as strong as it once was, though, right?
It's coming back.
It is.
Who is that?
With Thigger
who are you?
Worth.
That's a superhero.
They're bringing back all the main guys.
Really?
Yeah.
I saw a video the other day where they were just panning out.
Yeah, all the seats.
Yeah, all the
on set.
all the mains are coming back.
That was
a
a
lot
good
of the main
idea.
guys, and they also made Iron Man a different character now. So Robert Downey Jr. is back as well.
He's a bad guy now.
Doctor Doom, you could say.
Are they going to bring? Are they? All right. Are they going to bring?
What do you want to talk about, Marvel Universe?
Okay.
I wasn't doing that.
Oh, I thought you were.
Oh,
That's unbelievable.
What is this guy doing?
hell?
Cody Rhodes dropped John Cena last night.
He did.
And
Did he?
lightning, Crossroads.
I don't know. Cena was cooking, fam.
He was.
He was burying it.
Yeah.
I like how Cody did a little B-rap. though.
Of course, I grew up in a trailer park, and yeah, he did fuck my girl. He did do that.
I like that.
What were you going to say about Marvel?
Oh, they should bring Snow White in.
It turns out.
That's
What do you
not a
mean?
bad idea.
They should bring Ziegler into one of these Marvel things and just have it happen.
Sure they will.
They canceled all her stuff, actually.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Well, could do it in a way.
Move
You know,
it to
if
that.
Disney owns Marvel,
Yeah.
Disney could really get what they pay for out of
Get a
Snow
little street
White.
cred. Yeah.
Get it, drop her in a Marvel universe. What's going on here?
Head gets cut off.
And somebody just, all right,
Yeah.
and then just keep it walking.
Yeah.
It's not a bad idea.
That'd be a good little self. I am
IMDb.
1 point something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Setting
yeah.
up to be the biggest.
How is that
Well, I'm
even?
guessing that's a lot of people who haven't seen the movie, but they're not exactly okay with what's going on around the movie, so they just go right and say, "Oh, this one, I think this is 0 out of 10."
Who gets to vote on those?
Anybody?
Okay, I
Yeah.
thought that was
No.
potentially people that were.
No, that happens a lot.
It's the lowest score of all
This is
time.
Snow White.
Yes.
Snow White, the new Snow White. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not out yet.
What about Rotten Tomatoes? What have they done?
Let me look.
I think it was super juicy.
Yeah.
Is that
Why
what
don't
they're
people
called?
like it? What
Certified fresh.
happened?
Oh, certified fresh.
What happened?
You know exactly what happened, and it does suck because those movies do well. Like
Always.
live action.
40% on.
Is that good? Is 40% good?
No.
No, I'd be rotten, but it's not. It's not terrible. It's not 1.7 bad.
I think dropping Snow White in Marvel movie would be good.
That'd be cool. Or like a John Wick. She just starts
Ballerina.
killing a bunch of people.
Yeah, maybe.
You know.
The Accountant 2 is coming out. Ben Affleck. That looks good.
Love the first one.
He was a killer, sniper, mercenary type guy.
He had to do media for that. Was talking about a lot of things.
Maybe Ben.
Oh, he was.
A lot of
I didn't see that.
Yeah, John Bernthal. Let's go.
Oh, John Bernthal's legit. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's another movie somebody's in that where
Mobland, the TV show.
there it is.
Yeah.
There's another
Yeah,
one.
Bruce was talking about it. Is that good?
Pierce Brosnan.
Tom
Gotta be good.
Hardy.
Okay.
Tom Hardy.
haven't watched it yet.
Hey, speaking of good, Jameis Winston bat 1,000 as New York Giants quarterback. We have a clip of him describing what life could be like if they play football well.
Winning for me in the NFL, it's required for this organization to start winning. So we can have more giggles, more laughter, more fun in this building. Like, we in the biggest city of the world, we should enjoy that. And I think winning does that. So when it comes to looking at their record, I didn't look at this team being a 3-14 team. I looked at what was possible, and what I saw was possible is an offense that can execute efficiently and that can be explosive. I saw a defense with an incredible front, and I saw this offseason of them adding Paulson Adebo and Javon Holland in the back end to create some noise to help that front get home. And I just figured that the Giants, man, they don't look like a 3-14 team. From the talks of people talking about, I know Kayvon, I know Byron a little bit, and Dex. Like, from their talks and their conversations, like, the locker room didn't seem like it was a 3-14 team. So this team is looking for a complete paradigm shift. This team is looking to make a splash, man. And there's no better place to do it, with no greater calling to do it than right here in New York City, being a New York football giant.
Hell yeah. He said that in New Jersey, obviously, but the point remains. Is there more giggles around the corner with a paradigm shift? Bruce Brown, noted New York Giants fan.
More giggles, more laughter, more fun. I'm going to my third parade, boys. I hope to see you all there. I can't wait. This fired me up. I absolutely love Jameis. I'm excited for Russ whenever he does his presser as well, just to see that dynamic. And then, there was Shador talking about it too, that he might be getting, I think Deion said he might be getting baptized pregame in the pregame speeches. So things are looking up. I'm fired up.
As you should be.
Hell yeah.
Yankees still doing good?
Yeah, Still undefeated. Had an off day yesterday. They got the Arizona Diamondbacks coming to town tonight. So
You guys are already taking off days, huh? Wow.
Huh.
I didn't know that.
What the hell?
I thought baseball was every day for 162 days.
I mean, it was up to the Yankees. They'd play every day. They'd play 200 games if they had to. You know, but I don't know.
A lot of people know seats.
That's a long flight for the Diamondbacks.
A lot of people.
A lot of people in
Ty, how many doubleheaders they have now? Like, how many doubleheaders will a team have?
None, unless there's like rainouts.
Really? They don't schedule them anymore?
Nah, this ain't fucking high school baseball.
Come on, why not? Not 2 out one day. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's play 2 5-inning games. It'd be fucking nuts if there's a rainout. Maybe
No.
it says in fucking 12-year-old AAU baseball. We're not playing doubleheaders. This is the New York Yankees.
What do you want, a running clock too
Maybe
in
it should.
football, Bob?
Yeah. Oh, no, not in football. But no, I tell you what, the old baseball doubleheader, that's a great day for
Play
some
two.
people. Some people go to both games.
That's right. A session, maybe. You could just get 2 games for 1 ticket. That'd be good for
Then give them
families.
a day off the next day, obviously.
Let the boys rest. Just had 2. What is the, whenever there's a cancellation or a delay, is it a shorter game? Or they play 2 9-inning games?
No, yeah, 2 9-inning games.
COVID, they did the 7.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
To jam in 60-some games.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Did we like it better or no?
No.
When is Giancarlo Stanton back?
As soon as he can move his elbows. So we don't know. He's actually started picking up a bat and swinging it again, which is huge.
2 of them? Maybe he does 2 torpedo. Are you allowed to have 2 torpedo bats in the batter's box?
Yeah, you just got to stand on the plate.
They might
Giancarlo
let him do it.
Having 2 of those would be sweet. I guess you'd want to swing those sideways.
Yeah.
So you get double the. You wouldn't
Yeah.
want to swing those.
Exactly.
Yeah. Would you
be early, late?
I don't know. Yeah. Would you want to be early and late, or would you want to be side by side? Would you want
Here
to
we
be
go. Early and late. Early and late.
Would you want to be bang boom like one of those?
I think you'd want to double stack them.
You want this number here?
Because guess what? You're making contact a whole hell of a lot right
So
there.
you're turning that thing sideways like that.
Yeah.
You could also start like X here, and then boom, boom, like that as well.
What's that?
I'm pretty confident.
I'm standing behind home.
No,
Are you
you're standing
squared
like
up?
this. You're starting them down here like this.
Okay.
And then you're coming out. Pa-pa!
What are you? Where
you're
am I
lifting
standing?
that-
Might have to come in.
don't
You're
work.
you're standing on the plate, brother.
Yeah, you're saying behind.
Just your meat right there in the strike
Yeah,
zone.
you're facing the pitcher.
So I'm standing.
Okay, you're confident dude here.
Yeah. And you're crossing them up,
Yep.
and then pa-pa, boom, boom.
The only
Yeah,
problem,
2 balls coming?
if you don't make contact, you're either wearing a 100-mile-an-hour fastball on the chin or to the tip of the penis.
Take your base.
Listen.
Take your base.
Yeah, my OPS should be unbelievable.
Or right in the middle of chest.
The baseball needs to embrace debate and let 2 torpedo bats be in one guy's hand. One night. Let him try it one night.
What do you want
Savannah
to hear?
Bananas.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
we need
there
the
we go.
bananas.
There we go. Let the bananas do it. Let those jerk-offs do it. That's,
Jerk off.
that's great.
They sold out
of a bitch.
fucking stadium.
Son of a bitch.
Have some respect.
I know it did. I have no ill will towards the bananas.
Sounds like
I
you
should-
do.
I shouldn't
okay,
say that. I
okay.
just kind of in the moment, said, because their brain of baseball's kind of jerk off, jack off baseball.
It's a
fine.
show.
I get it. I get it.
How about when they catch it through the legs?
Some of the
talented.
shit they do is wildly impressive. And
Yes.
it really is.
Because there's no way they can set anything up, right?
Not really. I mean, it's a live baseball game. It's pretty tough to.
Those MLB pitchers are so locked in. They need so many breaths. They need their entire thing. I'm watching these bananas pitchers, and they're doing full, hey, boom, bang, and bang, and
Throwing strikes.
and then they're coming in there right into it, and 12-6.
Yeah.
Break it off. Banana guy breaks his shit.
Yeah.
Guy comes in with 2, what are those?
Stilts.
Stilts on 2 stilts, and this backflip pitcher, and then he's throwing underhanded the other way, straight.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how these guys aren't getting looks, first of all.
Well, that's because these guys are throwing about 84 miles an hour.
What?
You got
Look
He's
at
still,
this
look
stuff.
at this. Look at what he's about to do. Look at the ump even.
The
Uh-huh.
ref's even bopping a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Hey.
Is that ref 7'3"?
Part of the show.
And hold it straight. That was a foul. So that was a foul. That'd be,
Foul ball. They did it again, right?
Don't love the ref.
That was a lot
Don't
for-
love the ump.
No, he's a part of it.
That's dancing ump. He's got good
does.
moxie.
The dump.
Yeah, because I did a Monday Night Raw at Savannah, Georgia. Mm-hmm. And some of the bananas
Did
were
he
there.
catch that?
Yeah, he caught it.
Yeah.
And look, he just threw it under his fucking leg. Double. Yes.
How slow
That
is
was
that
this
guy?
He did this one right here.
Yeah, you're right.
How slow is that guy out of the box?
Behind the back, bang, through the legs, double play. Savannah Bananas.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're doing it.
He's
I
not
agree.
even
So that
trying.
stuff
Is that ump? Is that
Wait,
ump
wait.
a ninja at first base? He's wearing a full face mask thing?
I mean, you can't be. You got kids in the crowd.
Yeah, sexualized baseball.
Sicko, cross chop.
They definitely can't be
What
doing
a play.
Yeah, what a play. Give me that, he says.
They were losing too.
Yeah, they were down.
The Bananas?
Party
Animals
animals
were
are
having
a
a
good
good night,
team.
yeah.
They're a good team.
Yeah, but because they
Night.
did the behind the back snag in between the legs throw, they
not
got
true.
5 runs and 1.
Which they should. Which maybe MLB should think about. Maybe instituting some of the banana rules.
We got the torpedo bats. Let's keep the Mickey Mouse shit for the Savannah Bananas. They could keep dancing and waving their poopers everywhere and, grabbing their penises after the fucking innings over.
All right, well, geez Louise, I didn't see that.
He was excited.
The dancing ump, though, I would say he was right behind me for Raw.
Yeah, he's got it.
I bet.
He is.
Yeah, I don't mind this guy. He's got good swag, good panache.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
bringing the boom.
Yeah,
He was
I'm,
bringing
I'm
the boom.
out. I'm out on the dump.
What?
I like the players, but-
He's not a dumpire. He is the dancing umpire.
which is the dump
Hey.
fire.
Look, let's kind of get this game reined in a little bit. The dancing ump said, "You got it."
The dump is a big time. Look at me. If
He's
I've ever
running the
seen
show.
one. Yeah, if I've ever seen.
It's a professional salsa
Yes,
dancer.
he's making it about himself.
No, he's passing time. Another pitcher's warming up.
We're here to watch
only
the
went-
bananas
I
and the party nut jobs. We're not here to watch the dump.
Well, he's got to have eyes all over the park. If somebody catches it, it's an eye
That's a good point.
in the stands.
That can end the game.
Everybody thinks this umpire is making a joke of the game. Instead, he's got a harder job than these fuckers do in the MLB.
I disagree.
What? He's got to pay attention to the dance moves.
He is the show.
And
He thinks he is.
They don't have the box to tell him if it's a strike or a ball. He's got to call that thing freehand.
They don't have strikes and balls, I thought. It was like misses and almost hit it. Something like that.
On that note,
Oh,
I think we're done here.
we need to go to a game. Anyone in there been to a game?
Mitt went to the whole 3-game
went.
set, ran the bases afterwards.
Spent the whole weekend with the
Almost got
banana.
the game winner, but it hit him right in the mouth. He lost 2 teeth.
Yeah, that's why he talks the way he does. Z, hey, how was it? Z, it was a good show, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was absolutely amazing.
It's a good show.
It was like no seat empty. It's insane.
I got respect. I got respect for the show they put on.
Kids would love it. Trust me. Kids would absolutely love it.
Well, it's like Harlem Globetrotters, but for baseball.
Yeah, exactly.
It's cool.
Sold out a football stadium.
No, yeah. What
That was
they
wild.
do is wildly impressive. It is. It's just like I love baseball. I'd rather go watch a regular baseball game than all that.
Is it all college baseball guys?
Mostly, I think, because you still like some of these guys. Like you can't just be like a fucking scrub. I mean, they still got guys throwing. It's still like an
make
actual
plays.
decent baseball product. Yeah, like. So yeah, I don't think they have any beer league guys out there. It's mostly guys who probably played like high D1 baseball.
Maybe they should test out some stuff for the MLB.
I don't think so. We got the torpedo bats right now. I think that's a good start.
I see one pitcher from both sides.
Yes.
From the mount. That was Seattle?
Yep.
That was crazy.
Did he make the team?
I don't know if he made the team. I'm not sure.
He had the glove that was able to go on both hands.
Dual web, yeah.
On like 95, both sides.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, he was
Crazy.
What he would have to deem it before each batter?
No.
In between pitches.
You can switch.
He
like
could,
that?
but it'd be mostly like, if a lefty was up, he'd probably pitch left-handed. If a righty was up, he'd throw right-handed.
But in middle of count, can he switch?
He could, yeah. He could throw left, right, left, right, left, right every pitch if he wanted to.
That'd be so.
Yeah.
The Savannah Bananas need him.
They do.
He needs to reset the market.
Well, Shohei was supposed to do that, but they won't let him pitch because he's too good of a hitter.
Yeah, you could pitch back-to-back days. You're going righty-lefty, couldn't you?
Yeah,
exactly. Oh, yeah.
If you say, this day I'm pitching righty on Monday, on Tuesday I'm pitching lefty. I'm going complete game both days.
Double Tommy
Yeah,
John.
your back wouldn't hurt at all.
Now you Giancarlo on the mound.
Double Tommy
John.
on.
Come on.
Is this the guy?
Yeah, this is the guy.
Is this old? Or he did make.
No, this is the same clip I saw. So he threw that one lefty, right? And now
This is preseason. Bottom of the fifth here.
Yeah.
5-2. They're down. So
No,
now
they
he
played.
switched the glove over
Yeah,
to
now
the
he's
other
good.
hand.
Yeah,
now he's a
now
righty.
Mm-hmm.
That's sick.
Is this live action or is this preseason?
No, I think this was spring training, right?
Yeah, this is spring training. This is a clip I saw. Yeah, so now he's just right.
Why is it spring training kind of cold? Where are they? Arizona?
So he's supposed
That's
to be
pretty sweet.
Pretty sick, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fun to be able to do. That'd be cool.
I grew up with a kid on my travel baseball team that did that. Matt Witt.
Literally out of nowhere. Like out of nowhere.
You okay?
Nah.
Oh, no.
I'm just waiting to see. I don't know if we're taking a break. I don't know if we're done, but I am going to poop my pants. Like this is. Oh,
All right, Ty. If I make this, okay, you gotta.
I got just make.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Make it.
Shoot one. Tell him to shoot
Hey,
one.
actually, go punch one. Punch one.
Oh, yeah. See how hard he
Punch
is.
one. Hey, go punch one.
What did he eat this morning, Carter?
I don't know. He had
noodles. He had noodles.
Oh, yeah, Nudes and Company,
yeah.
and he had a jumbo coffee. So
Jumbo coffee. But this is normally from last night. This is normally the one in the middle of the show is normally last night it ate my bladder up. You see, Keenan responded. Keenan said, I don't know what that was all about. He said, give me to God's country as if we're not under the umbrella of God up here. It's like maybe he was just saying, give me home.
Oh, like from Keenan and Kel?
Yeah.
He's been on SNL for what, 30 years?
A long time.
He's been the longest for sure.
He said
Morgan didn't. He didn't want to go to the after party.
What? I think Morgan just saw the exit and was, well, they said he's been on the show before, and the last time he did not do that. I was like, okay, well, I didn't remember that or no.
We want to get home to his boy.
How did Keenan respond?
Yeah, he's got a little baby boy.
He's got a baby boy.
Got a boy. Okay, got a little bit of heat. Not heat. Got a little bit of a situation brewing. Jerry Jones at the owners' meeting said, he's not worried about the contract with Micah Parsons. Then there was a report that there was a contract offered to Micah Parsons. Clarence Hill Jr., Jerry Jones with blatant disrespect to Micah Parsons' agent, David Mulugeta. The agent is not a concern here. I don't know his name. Mulugeta is one of the best and most respected agents in the NFL. Of course it is. Let's scroll up here now to the response here from Micah. Facts, David is the best, and I will not be doing any deal without Mulugeta involved. Like anyone with good sense, I hired experts for a reason. There's no one I trust more when it comes to negotiating contracts than David. There will be no backdoors in his contract negotiation because allegedly Jerry had been talking to Micah and then his agent wasn't involved. His agent being Mulugeta. Jerry saying he doesn't know the name of his agent is interesting because Mulugeta, he's the one. Mm-hmm. Every position group, basically, he's the one that has the biggest contract at that position group. He was the one behind the Deshaun Watson deal. Mm-hmm. He was one behind both DB deals that got signed this particular offseason. I believe wide receiver. You go through it. Mulugeta's the guy. He is an absolute dog when it comes to this. So there's a little heat. Jerry Jones saying, I don't know this guy's name.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that is. And him even being offered the contract behind the agent's back. If that's true, I don't. Let's hope this isn't an April 1 type situation. Doesn't look like it, but that's wild. And then to say you don't know the agent, I believe he's been repping Micah for at least a couple years now. Because I can remember offseason where him and Stroud were doing some offseason shit.
Exactly.
Like how when you know.
Does he have CD or Trevon Diggs or?
I'm looking right now.
Like any of those guys, I would assume that he has
even
at
if
least one of them.
Even if he didn't know, like Jerry Jones, like.
Yeah.
You know.
Jerry's letting them know, hey, I'm in charge here, bud.
Yeah, I've been in the league a lot longer than this David fella. We know, Jerry. So that's good. Anytime that type of shit pops off.
That's Cowboys.
That's classic. That's good. This is just like T. Higgins put a cap thing out there, Remember Duke at the Combine said that ideally we'll get this and Jamar Chase will be the highest paid non, and we want this. And then somebody put a tweet out saying cap. Myles Garrett wanted out. He didn't want in there. And then money comes around, then it all gets sorted. And Micah Parsons has always wanted to be a Cowboy even whenever he was a kid.
That's what'll happen here. He'll get 40.2 a year and reset the market again.
And I think Jerry said something along the lines of, I don't care if I have to pay more. I just want to get it right. Mm-hmm. Something along those lines. Jerry is one that normally has to pay more because he delays. And then inevitably a deal gets done. Did it with Dak, did it with CD. I assume there's others just within the last year that has taken place, and Micah will probably be the next one on the board to get that done. With Myles Garrett signing the deal that he signed, obviously that affects a lot of people. Trey Hendrickson, TJ Watt, Micah Parsons, a lot of people that get to the quarterback for a living are now wondering, well, what's my number going to be? Have we heard anything about TJ Watt and the Pittsburgh Steelers?
No, they talked about it. They were asked about it at the league meetings, and they said they want TJ to be a one helmet player. And then it'll get done. And it feels like there's not really a super rush right now, but it'll get done.
Yeah, and Trey Hendrickson, what's going on there, AJ? Do you know anything in Ohio? What's going on?
I do not know. I definitely think TJ, they have to get that done. But with Trey, I don't feel as confident that the Bengals are going to bring him back. They're going to find a way.
Yeah, it got quiet.
It's weird. Yeah.
We're in a quiet period.
The last one that was after.
I mean, Trey deserves a bunch of money. So like they want
for sure.
Yeah, rightfully so. He wants a lot.
30 years old, last big one. Last opportunity for a big contract, probably. I mean, who knows? Maybe 4 years from now when he's 34, he's still going as strong as he is right now. But he's coming fresh off the Sack King title, 30 years old. And I think what he told us was been delaying this now for multiple years to kind of hopefully get a deal done. Hopefully they're able to do that. Cincinnati's paying folks. They're figuring it out.
Mm-hmm.
Teddy cares. That's good, right? We like that.
Yeah.
I love Ted.
It's cool.
He's the man.
Cool dude.
He's hilarious.
That clip of him at the parade deal when they trying to get him to cry about football or something. I'm emotional about the Reds opening day. Like his answer. Yeah, Ted is always awesome.
Ted, you come here a couple years ago. Now you're in a parade and you're giving back a lot to the city. Do you get a little bit emotional whenever you think about it all? Yeah, I get emotional and pumped up. It's the Reds. We need a big win. Just like constant good vibes guy.
Yeah, great merch too. The Cincy red stuff that he had.
The Cincy hat.
Yeah, the hats.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, okay.
All right, take a swing.
You gonna make it to a Reds game, AJ?
You should take a swing.
I sure hope so.
Yes.
I will. There we go.
Gotta see it.
Ty Schmidt, fresh out of a dump. Make sure you hit close to where the black pad is at above the ball there. You're going to want to hit, yeah, because if you hit low, it's not going to go great. You hit high, it's going to hurt.
What's the over-under?
Fresh out of a dump, I'm going to say...
Pretty good.
That was a great punch.
Oh. Whoa.
Atta, baby!
Nice.
833.
Good work.
Who got 921? No, it's Bruce. Bruce Lefty got that 921.
Bruce Mayweather.
I didn't see it.
Big body Bruce.
I would love to see Bruce throw a punch left-handed like that. I know he's got a cannon. They call him Francis Ngannou.
It was righty. I do think I could get a left hook up there too, though.
Okay, we got time. We got time with this thing. Let's not just wear it out day one.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's get the hell out of here. It's been a hell of a day. Ty, how was the dump? Pretty good, pal?
Yeah, it kind of sounded like I just lit off a book of black cats. Sure. It was quick, but it was.
I got it.
It was pretty explosive.
Yeah, sure. I've been there.
Yeah.
Not M80s.
No, black cats.
Yeah, certainly different.
Husker dudes, Husker
The
no.
100 pack.
Yeah. Well, happy to hear you got through that.
Yeah, those shiitake mushrooms this morning were playing no games.
Okay, so you think it was a shiitake mushroom. I didn't know if it was last night's operation.
No,
No, certainly not last night. You ate something that was...
didn't have anything last night. I'm kind of a one meal a day guy now.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, whenever you lose it that quickly, though, you might need to replenish.
Well, I should have known. I haven't had noodles in quite some time, and some of those more exotic dishes, if you will.
Yeah, noodles will do that.
Sometimes, a lot of sesame seeds in there,
Spices.
a lot of different spices. I don't exactly know what sauce they have on there. Probably some peanut oil, some chili powder, that kind of stuff.
Cayenne pepper,
maybe, and then of course
Is that the accent?
Have we got any Gator?
I don't think
Oh,
you gotten any gator.
Jeff Landry's full of shit. I knew he was.
Oh,
You better watch your fucking mouth about going to Jeff Landry.
Bruce is saying we did.
We did. Jeff Landry sent some Gator up here.
I take it back. I take it back.
Yeah, we
I
got
take it
gator
back.
fillets in the freezer.
Jeff Landry did do
We
one
got
of these.
gator fillet?
Yeah.
Jeff Landry did one of these.
Yeah. You all love the gator, but I don't think you will, boy. I don't think so.
You don't know nothing about that black shirt defense, boy.
Nebraska. Yeah, that was an interesting
You're right.
moment. That was interesting.
It's enough. It's
You
enough,
probably
guy.
don't.
Hey, that's
remember.
fucking enough. All
Okay,
right.
okay.
With the accent. It's bad.
Hulk Hogan. All right. What a moment.
Yeah.
That was a whole nother scene.
What did you say about Hulk Hogan? What were you talking about him?
Well, Hulk Hogan, there's another moment. Anytime people start doing this one here, it's an interesting timing. Okay.
Whoa.
You put your... I can't wait to have that gator.
Can't wait.
Can't wait to have that gator.
Boy,
Had
enjoy
a
it.
couple bison burgers the other day.
Sure.
That was pretty good.
It's good lean meat.
The Sunday beef roast over there in England was really good. They had the carrots in there and shit, the green peas.
Roast beast.
The roast beast, yeah. I don't know if they have steak knives over there.
Really?
No, you have to use swords.
Or their teeth.
Well,
Whatever the case, the butter knife that I had was just ragdolling this beef. I mean, it was boom, 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 boom. It was like I was just rolling this thing back and forth. But once I ate it, it was so good. It was delicious. Shout out to England. Shout out to Scotland. Shout out to the WWE. That was a hell of a night. And shout out to all you boys. All right, we'll be back tomorrow. What's happening tonight? A lot of big stuff tonight. Let's make sure we pay attention.
Got some basketball. Got some hockey. Ovechkin continuing his run to the goal record. They're playing the Bruins, so I would expect the Capitals to maybe Ovechkin put in 2 or 3, perhaps.
What's that all about? You just got shout out by Lucic.
Yeah, Luch, my guy, of course. But unfortunately, we're a long way from Milan Lucic, kind of patrolling the ice, And right now we're in a officially, hey, we're on to next season. Let's go Celtics.
Well, aren't the Bruins doing good still? Are the Bruins good or no?
I think they lost 8 straight.
They're so
after
the hockey gods because of the trade of Marchand.
So after Marshy got traded, we go on. We beat the Panthers without Marshy.
Hell of a win.
He's not on either side. And then the hockey gods said, "Okay, now it's time to bury the hatchet. Let's go Celtics." NBA playoffs start next week.
Congrats to you guys.
Next week.
Pacers are hot. Down 16 last night against the Kings, and Tyrese and the boys lead a massive comeback.
NBA playoffs next week.
I believe the last day of the regular season is Tuesday, and then the play-in game starts maybe Thursday or Friday.
Okay.
Big night out next Wednesday.
Yeah. That Masters next weekend.
Oh, yeah.
We're here.
Let's go.
We did it.
Yeah. I'm glad we're talking baseball this week. Right, boys?
Mm-hmm. I think we're going to keep talking baseball. Mm-hmm. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Shohei,
I think we might. The Reds dominating. Yeah.
Are they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You saw the clips from last night.
4 hits, 2 home runs.
That's right.
For
Terry Francona at the helm. Are you kidding me? He's a
will
winner.
get the boys going.
I'm going to try. I'll tell you that much. I will genuinely try. Red Sox are supposed to be good.
Okay. Where's my baseball?
Mm-hmm.
What baseball highlights in there?
Homers.
Torpedo bats.
Mm-hmm. Easy.
Gold gloves.
Torpedo bats might send you some other things.
Don't send me any penises. All right. We're back tomorrow.
You might wanna...
Great work, Aaron. I just told it not to. It'll listen.
Okay.
Remember? Conversation.
Yeah. No penises.
It hurt me. All right. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change your life. We're in this thing together. Team on me. Team on 3. 1, 2, 3. Team.
Team.
Goodbye.